I feel it in my bones, a spark to lead us through the shadows. But can I light the way before me? It's coursing through my soul, a road to guide us through the sorrow. Can I calm this storm inside me? I feel it in my bones, a spark to lead us through the shadows. Can I light the way before me? It's coursing through my soul, a road to guide us through the sorrow. They say it started like a wildfire. It's kind of funny that you had me written off dead. Now we're coming for the empire. So now you love me, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Go tell and watch me, keep your eyes on me. I caught you sleeping before, and now I'm in your head. You can't close it, the doors are open. Nah, you ain't seen nothing yet. They say it's starting like a wildfire. I feel it spreading, need a new wave out right now. Change the game, build an empire. If you're ready, we can spark it up. We can spark this right now. I hear the roar of the wildfire. It makes me wanna aim higher. We have to take control. I'm always chasing the path I'm facing. Ignites the fire. Time to take what's yours. Stand and watch us. Keep your eyes on us. Always leaving our mark. Living in your head. Can't contain us. There's no escaping. Nah, you ain't seen nothing yet. They say it's starting like a wildfire. I feel it spreading, need a new wave out right now. Change the game, build an empire. If you're ready, we can spark it up. We can spark this right now. We're just getting started. Fire in the blood, but we're still cold-hearted. Eyes on the prize, do what we gotta do to secure our rise. Like pioneers with no fear, never back down, this our frontier. Ash on the path, don't get too near. Blazing a trail, never adhere. Yeah, the road we chose is only built for the pros, and we can walk through the highs and the lows, punches and throws. Got the crown, never letting it go. Royalty, you ain't getting the throne. Leaders of a new empire, clawed our way up from the muck and the mire. Nothing will take from us all these desires. We're at the summit, we're still going higher. We are the crucible, we are the fire. Like a wildfire, I feel it spreading, need a new wave out right now. Change the game, build an empire. If you're ready, we can spark it up. We can spark. They say it's starting like a wildfire. I feel it spreading, need a new wave out right now. Change the game, build an empire. If you're ready, we can spark it up. We can spark this right now. New wave out right now. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. Always on the outside, through a window looking in. Never the right time, so the chance goes by again. Lines begin to show, and we feel broken. To move on, we have to drop the pieces we're holding. And no one
Woo! It's real playoffs time. It's best of 5 time. It's quarterfinals time. It's Dorado Gaming Mirror Match time. Boys, how are we doing tonight?
I'm hype. I'm pretty hyped for the Dorado match. It'll be pretty solid. The question is which Dorado wins, but we'll get to that in just a little bit, I'm sure.
Indeed, indeed. Kongman, how are you feeling for our first best of 5 of summer, my friend?
Oh, I mean, I gotta be pretty hyped for this one. I mean, you know, it's Dorado versus Dorado. It's gonna be the dog-eat-dog matchup that we have been waiting for all season long. I see you slapping your knee over there.
He's so proud of that one. We loaded into the voice chat, and it was one of the first things he said. We get on pre-show, it's one of the first things he said. And you know what? He's right to be proud of it. It's a good bit. I'm proud of you, Kongman. It's a nice little pun you got going.
I am also proud of myself. Thank you.
As you should be, as you should be. But here we are, everyone, for VRS quarterfinals in the summer split. Where did the time go? I feel like spring took forever. Summer has just absolutely flown by, and things are repeating themselves here in terms of the teams at the top of the table. Dorado Gaming Zeta has done nothing but win games this year across the New Year's Lock-In Tournament, VRS Spring, Grassroots Amateur Worlds here in NA. I mean, they have just won, and we're seeing them near the top of the table again right now. It's been a very consistent story for us here at the Victoris Rivals Series through the summer split, and if we do want to take a look at the playoff standings, or bracket rather, we can break down how that did happen. But gentlemen, is there any force on this earth that can stop Zeta from finding themselves another championship here in summer?
I if I had to guess, it would probably be Oasis Esports Cloud on the other side of the bracket, or at least I'm pretty sure they're on the other side. No, they might be on the same side of the bracket now I'm thinking about it.
They are on the same side.
Okay, so that would be next week, assuming that they beat Mint Gaming Gelato, which that's how I imagine that goes, is I imagine OEC wins that. I think that's the only the team that can really challenge them besides maybe Absolute or Dorado Gaming Gamma from their own organization as well. Not the other Dorado team we'll be seeing tonight, that is Iota. But some would maybe say TAS. I would say that's foolish. I think TAS gets absolutely slobber knockered by Zeta about 9 days out of 9 days. So, I mean, like, it's really not even a close matchup between those two organizations.
I do believe the last time they played in the finals against each other, which was the New Year's lock-in tournament, they did not have a very even matchup. I do believe that was the Zeta 3-0. So definitely a bit of a mismatch there. Kongman, what about you? I know you're a Team Ambition lover. Do you want to put any respect on their name, defend them from this Shogun slander, or do you think it's really still up to the power of Dorado to overthrow Dorado?
I mean, like, obviously we have to wait to see who wins this matchup tonight. I mean, for all we know, Iota might just reverse sweep Zeta. Zeta's coming off that really tough victory from the Amateur Worlds. But definitely, like, if Zeta moves on, they will probably be playing against Oasis Esports, which last season they were the 2 grand finalists, and Zeta won 3-2, barely. So Oasis might be able to rebound, take them out. But on the other side of the bracket, your only 2 like competitions is Team Ambition Sakura, because they have improved, they have gotten better. They are the 4th seed overall, only 1 seed behind Zeta themselves. And then you also have Absolute Esports, which is, I don't even think we've casted them this season, have we?
Not yet. Not unless it was a week I wasn't here. I have missed a few, but yes. I don't believe we've casted Absolute Zero.
And that is the first seed team that we have not seen any gameplay of. So they could be like the force just waiting to be unleashed.
Yeah, it could be a big old... Kongman, I do want to circle back to something you said, just because your dry wit does sometimes go past our viewers, because you're an exceptionally dry, sarcastic man.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the tough victory for Dorado Gaming Zeta at the NA Amateur Worlds. It was not a tough victory. It was a very easy victory. They dropped 1 game the entire tournament. They made that tournament look very, very easy for themselves. So just want to clear that up for anybody who's not in on the joke.
Listen, the reason I say that is 1, because if they're not on the joke, they'll think, hey, that was really good. Also, 2, it's just proving that Victoris is the better league outside of Amateur Worlds. I mean, you look at the other leagues, Zeta walked all over them.
Well, we gotta remember this was like only for plat. I don't know how our gold team did. I think they either made it to finals or they made it to semis. I'm not like 100% sure about that. I want to say it was a Rising Tide team. I want to say it was Rising Tide Typhoon that we sent, but I mean, either
it would have been whoever won VAS, right, in spring.
Right. Well, I know Rising Tide Typhoon was there. Is the thing. Yeah. So maybe they didn't
Rising
win.
Tide
VAS.
S Eagles was there. That's their other gold team. They're the ones I'm tight with. I don't think Typhoon was there because we sent Degenerate's Ascension out of VAS.
That's right. That makes sense.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Both the Rising Tide teams were there. One of them made that of groups. I don't know which. But yeah, I think we sent Degenerate's Ascension, and I don't know how they did. Can somebody in chat fact check me on that? Anybody want to?
Someone probably can. Or production can do it. Either way, we'll probably get answer that.
Victoris is a pretty good, however
Yes,
we did in the
yes.
gold bracket, we won the plat bracket. So that
And
already,
that's
that
what matters.
buoys us up.
Yeah.
You know, our like
No.
5 diamond players really show those plat players who were boss. For sure.
Now, I'm sure like the 2 fans of this team will probably like be DMing me on Twitter later, but I think Zeta did such a good job. They could go to
Yeah.
LCS and replace Immortals, like get that team out of
Okay.
LCS.
That's
Like I said, the 2 fans for Immortals that exist out there.
that's actually unreal. If you think there's actually a single jungler in North America who's better than Kenvi, you're like out of your mind. That's not
But
in
his
LCS
solo
already.
lanes are crap, man.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
what does it matter?
that's true. That's true. But if you think Dorado genuinely stands a chance against Immortals, you're probably wrong, and I do say probably, because
I mean,
there's a chance that
probably.
their teamwork is better. But
Last place.
Yeah, last place LCS.
yeah, last place LCS is still better than like most of, if not all of LJL. Like,
I don't know.
Hey, that is not DFM would kick Immortal
Yeah.
butt up and
Who-
down the
who else?
street, bro.
who else besides DFM? That's the only team that exists over there.
Sengaku and Rascal Jet. LJL, for those of you who are not aware, I cast LJL. I will be on tomorrow morning, so you should come through and check it out. 10 a.m. British Standard Time, 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, DFM has been challenged this year. LJL is looking like a 3-team region, and DFM's not even in first right now.
That's
Sengaku and Rascal
crazy.
Jester gave him a lot of trouble in playoffs. But granted, DFM's also weaker than they were last year. They lost Arya back to the LCK, but we're getting off topic. We're here to cast VRS. So talking about some VRS topics, we shall. Gentlemen, we've danced around it all night. I think we've made our feelings perfectly clear, but let's get to the actual predicting here and put our money down and talk about how this series is going to go. I'm going to start off here. I can't see it being anything other than a Zeta 3-0.
Yeah, I don't think that's a. I think that's a pretty like lukewarm take. I would even go so far as to say that that's like drinking water take, if anything, if not freezing.
Not every take needs to be hot. It's summer.
No,
I'll
no,
take a cold take.
I agree. I think that's a perfectly fine one. I think it's the smart one. I think it's the correct one as well. I don't see Iota taking a game away from Zeta unless Zeta does something extremely grief, like pick
Kale.
some wild. Not even that, because I think Kale wipes the floor with Iota. Quite honestly, I think it would be more likely for Zeta to blind pick GP and Iota to try to counter with the Kale, and it just doesn't matter because Zeta is just too good for Iota. So that's why I just think that the skill difference. There's a reason that these 3 teams are separated the way that they are. Yes, each team is very talented, and I think they're in playoffs for a reason. They're all so good at what they do, but there's a reason Zeta is the one that went to Platinum Amateur Worlds. There's a reason Zeta is the only one who won Platinum Amateur Worlds and dropped only 1 game there. And the fact that they only dropped 1 game, I don't think they're gonna want to drop a single one against Iota. So that's why I think Zeta is gonna go 3-0.
Yeah, can't disagree with that take. Kongman, what sort of foolishness do you have brewing for us tonight? Give us the prediction, buddy.
Foolishness? I mean, you just really got to break it down here. I mean, listen, you got Dorado Gaming, really good team, really strong. They have an amazing top laner. Then you have to go look over at Dorado Gaming, who has a really strong mid laner, as opposed to Dorado Gaming. See, look at that. They're already throwing out my 3-0 predictions, because that's just how much you know.
Dude, there's
about
no way you
Dorado
just
Gaming.
there's no way you just compared Kanji to Shima. That's
Listen,
unreal.
listen,
That's unreal.
Listen, the junglers are neck and neck with each other. It's going to be a close matchup. Like, I don't believe either team will be out of the doghouse just quite yet.
Oh my
But I do
God,
believe it'll be one-sided.
and-
I
We're
just
here for
want to
3
note,
games,
by the
Sheldon.
way, Kongman appears to have chosen Dorado Gaming Gamma to win this series.
That's pretty crazy.
Apparently.
That's pretty insane. If he doesn't,
this-
if he doesn't give like any specific team, we gotta just assume that he means Gamma, surely, because there's no other team he could possibly be talking about. If he just says Dorado Gaming.
You know what's great about this, Shogun? Is
What?
I'm one game behind you guys now, but
Free. That's free.
you and we both get points for this series, and Kongman gets nothing.
What do you
so
mean?
Now Kongman's in last
I
place.
even said
Let's
in the
go.
voice channel. that it's Zeta. I don't know what this is.
You did. You literally said.
No. Listen,
you literally said, "I'm just gonna say Dorado Gaming. It's up to you to figure it out." And production made
Never
the ruling
said
that means you
Listen.
picked the losing team.
Listen. You see this team? This team is going up against Ambition Sakura tonight. This is not going to be the correct scoreline for that match. Let's be real here. Production
So-
saying this is stuck. I did not sign off on this.
So wait. So you're saying that Gamma's gonna 3-0 TAS? Cause
No.
if you,
No.
I'd
is
be
not
willing
happening
to
to the
stick.
TAS.
I'd 100% be willing to stick with that. Like, even
No.
if Dorado Gaming ends up 3-0ing TAS, I'm willing to stick with that as being correct.
Nah, because it's going to be
man.
Sakura 3-0.
We can't predict a game that we're not streaming.
Yo, see, there's Zeta.
Oh,
See,
nice,
look at him.
nice.
Look at him move. Look at me control my dog.
Yeah. Production, thank you for swapping in at the last moment there to give us a more aesthetically aligned prediction bar. I like that.
Yo,
It's,
hey.
better
Dorado,
for my compulsive brain
hang
to get it all to match up.
Dorado,
even
we,
resizing. What an MVP.
we see you in chat, Dorado. I am picking you to win this match. Your other team, though, you need to fix them. You need to get your dogs in a line, put them on a leash, reel them back in.
God. We have a best of 5 of this tonight, folks. Get
Yep.
ready. Kongman's gonna be hitting you with the dog puns all night long. I'm so excited for it, and that should be getting underway in any second now. Just waiting on that confirmation from production that the players are ready to start draft. But in the meanwhile, of course, we can always chat about whatever little League of Legends tidbits we want to, maybe even take a look at that playoff bracket to look at the story of the VRS playoffs thus far. And here we do go. We got some nice ones here. We see all of our teams that got buys into the quarterfinal rounds and our teams that did earn their way up in best of 3s. And it's a lot of Dorado Gaming there, Shogun.
Yeah, I noticed that Dorado Gaming Gamma swept Team Ambition Victoris once, and they'll go ahead and they're gonna do it again to Team Ambition Sakura for sure. No shot that does not happen in the second round there.
I mean,
And
to
then,
be fair, we do know that Sakura is better than Notorious. We learned that last season.
I mean, that's true. I do think Team Ambition Sakura is the strongest Team Ambition team, easily. At least in Plat, or at least in VRS.
Yeah, I mean, they have an actual Proving Grounds team, so
Okay, so
obviously not
that
counting
team
them.
that team's probably way better. That's why I had to
Right.
quickly, because I was like, I don't know how high their teams go besides Team Ambition Sakura. But for the sake of our tournament and our leagues, TAS is the strongest team.
For sure.
However, if I had to like realistically give an expectation for that matchup, I'd probably say that Gamma can take at least 2 games off of them. I don't know if they win the series. I could easily see it being a 5-er. I could also see it being a sweep either way. But I will say this for TAS. They probably have the easiest path ever comparatively to finals. They managed to dodge OEC. They're dodging Dorado Gaming Zeta. The only thing I'd be worried about is technically they're going up against the first seed in the entire bracket, which is Absolute Esports, which I don't know exactly how teams are seeded. I know it's like overall wins, and then there's probably some other
Might
fairly
be
arbitrary
game time.
stat that I think it's game time. That's the only thing that really makes that, or that's what everyone usually goes for. I have my own thoughts about game time, but I think Team Ambition Sakura, or no, it's probably total games won, a 1-loss record. Yeah,
like
because it's in a
prevent going to
series.
best of 3s, right?
Yeah. So I think Absolute probably still wins that one against TAS. They seem like the stronger team. They might have had an easier group per se, but I mean, we'll have to see how they do against the Orfrost if they sweep them easily. I think TAS will have to be a little bit more worried about that next matchup, but obviously next week's matchup predicted being OEC versus Zeta. Of course, getting ahead of ourselves here, but that would probably be one of the more hype matchups of the season. In fact, I would argue that would be the fight for first place, as whoever they meet in finals, they should probably beat. Of course, that might be discrediting Absolute Esports just a little bit, because we didn't see that team in playoffs or at all, I think, last year. So I could be
No,
wrong
this
about
is a
that as
brand
well.
new team.
That's what I thought. So, of course, being a new team, they might end up, putting up a huge fight in semis, in finals, assuming that they get to those spots. But, I mean, obviously, Zeta and OEC would be a rematch of last split. So, it'd be safe to assume that that's, first of all, the matchup we're going to get in semifinals, and that would be, probably who wins it all at the end of the day.
Now,
Yeah,
I am
very well
doing
possible.
I am doing a quick look at ABS's record throughout the group stages. They 2-0'd all of their opponents except for Iota, which they 2-1'd.
That's
Okay.
very impressive.
That's, yeah.
Absolute Esports, keep your eyes on them. I do want to make the quick comment, by the way. Not that I think they have the potential to win the whole thing, but I think how easily Absolute deals with No-Org Frost will tell us a lot, because No-Org did not look like slouches in that round of 12 matchup we got to cast of them last week. They had some troubles in the early game, but I think they were one of our cleanest plat teams in terms of that mid game and their capability to take a lead and then turn into a closeout, which is a thing that a lot of our teams at the plat level struggle with. Heck, bottom level LCS teams struggle with that. So it was pretty impressive to me the way No-Org Frost did conduct themselves, and I hope they they get to grow through that series with Absolute Esports. I wouldn't call it a lot of upset potential, but hopefully we'll get a nice best of 5 over on that side of the bracket. I mean, the playoffs should be exciting all the way around. It's going to be very exciting to see what the final picture does wind up being once all the puzzle pieces fall into place. Should be an absolute bangerang like the one we have here tonight, which we are still just waiting to get on in the draft for. So, gentlemen, this segment feels like it's like the magic words that always make the players get ready to get into draft. So I'm going to ask you, as I do every week, what secret sauce have these players hopefully been cooking up, in your opinion, that would give them the edge in this series tonight in terms of weird off-meta picks? Kongman, sell me on Sejuani.
No, actually, I'm not going to be selling you on Sejuani today.
What? Okay, Shyvana.
No, it's not even Shyvana.
What?
I know we're gonna stay in the jungle, but it is gonna be the tree man himself, Mr. Ivern.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Because he did recently get buffed, and I even got to play it a little bit. Not last night, but the night before. And his passive with the Friends of the Forest is just so much nicer. Like, it's not sucking all his health. It's not sucking all his mana. You can get invaded and walk away fine. Yeah, suck. Like, it feels good to do a full clear and still have HP afterwards.
Very nice.
Or not HP, mana.
Yeah. Ivern, I think, is an interesting one. We've seen before. Shogun, you as the support player, was just waxing lyrical about this before we started the pre-show, that support meta right now being dominated by enchanters doesn't leave as much room for the Nautilus and Leona playmaker types. But as we saw in the 2017 Ardent Sensor meta, if you have an accomplished Ivern player on your team, you can go for something like Fervor of Battle Leona instead of an enchanter in the bot lane, get your advantages there, and still have your cake and eat it too in terms of having an enchanter. Are you as warm on the Ivern as Kongman is, or do you have some other thoughts?
I don't know about Ivern, but Ivern, I've never been like a huge fan of the champion, especially if you are looking to what Dorado Zeta might be playing. I wouldn't, if I'm Cafe and I know how good I am, right? I don't want to be playing Ivern. I want to be trying to play something with a little bit more carry potential. As for like now I will say I do 100% expect one of these teams to pick Kale in a response to a Gangplank, because everyone's been doing it. I think it's probably the best option into the champion if you do end up picking Gangplank. If Gangplank's on the table, I don't think Kale's really that worth picking up, unless you just have a really good matchup for it. As for like things that are like super off meta that we might see, I don't have a ton. The only thing, and this isn't even off meta, but like Seraphine in mid or ADC is way more likely.
Busted.
Yeah, I would see it getting banned sooner than would get it picked. Trying to think of anything else. Like maybe we'll see some crazy like Akshan top or something like that. That'd be pretty hype. I doubt we're gonna see anything like that, but
It would be
I mean,
hype, but I
no.
can't see it being good in
Right.
this meta.
no, I can't either. It would be. This is why I think Sejuani top. As long as you ban Trundle. I forget if it was on this stream or if it was at Amateur Worlds where there was a Sejuani top picked, and it was picked B5, or maybe it was picked even before that, but it was picked somewhere right there.
Yeah,
It
that
might
was
have
Amateur
even
Worlds.
It might have even been picked R4, and then Trundle is immediately locked in as a response. And I'm like, how do you not ban Trundle? We're
Or
locking
pick
in
it. That's what a
Sejuani.
lot of the pro teams do, is they get the Sejuani top and they pick away the Trundle, put it in the jungle. So, because for those who are
Right.
unaware, Trundle R destroys Sejuani and most tanks, because it steals resists. It's like the biggest Sejuani counter in the game. You can't give Trundle to the opposing team if you're trying to play Sejuani. Just can't let it happen.
Yep, definitely
Yeah.
have to agree with you on that one as a avid Sejuani fan. But you know, it did remind me that last grand finals, Zeta did pick Shyvana, so we might actually see it tonight
Oh, it's
'Cause-
very
because
good.
they know
right
I'm
now.
here.
Possible.
because they know I'm here.
As apparently, I think I just heard that we are ready to move on. Can I get a confirmation on that? All right. Here we go, boys. Enjoy your first best of 5 of the summer. I'll see you on the other side of game 1. All you in the audience, enjoy Dorado Gaming versus Dorado Gaming. Personally, I think Dorado Gaming's going to win. Boys, take it away.
Alrighty, Dodge, thank you so much. As we are getting into game here with Iota on the blue side and Zeta on the red side. If I forget their full names, that'll be a little embarrassing, but for sake of not having to repeat Dorado Gaming over and over, we're just gonna call them Iota and Zeta, or INZ.
I'll
depending
probably
on
be
how
calling
it
them
is.
Dorado Gaming the whole time.
Yeah, that sounds more like your brand.
Sir.
that makes way more sense. As we do see the Olaf getting taken away. Could easily be taken by Fireflans or Cafe. I think both of them can play it pretty well, and both of them are players that you don't want to see the Olaf on if you are the side of Iota, because they're pretty potent with that. As the Yasuo, I believe that is. I realize I can get rid of this. There was something blocking it on my end. Yasuo is in fact what is taken away. Belveth is being hovered. I don't know if that's allowed yet. I think it
I mean,
is.
Belveth is still disabled,
Not.
but if they want
Okay.
to waste a ban, I mean, go ahead. I mean, this just proves that
I think
Zeta
it'd
is
be
the
pretty hype.
superior Dorado gaming team if they ban away the Belveth thinking it's still enabled.
I would say if Belveth is enabled, I think that champion is a little broken right now. I think it's pretty strong. I think it's one of the better scaling junglers in the game. And it's a pretty fun one. Not fun to play against if you don't know what it does. For some reason, I couldn't remember Karthus' name. Karthus getting banned away from the side of Zeta, going ahead and getting rid of that. Probably would be more of an ADC or jungle pick. I don't know which one it would lean towards. I think more so towards ADC than jungle right now. Of course, depending on their champ pool, that might be a little bit different. The Ahri getting hovered, I think that's a good one to take away from Shima. Not allow him to blind pick that one. Yes, Lysandra is a good answer, but I do respect the idea of going ahead and getting rid of the Ahri anyway. Whereas the Lilia's being hovered, and I think if you ban Lilia here on red side, you can just go ahead and B1 Wukong.
Yeah, I kind of respect the Lilia ban because unfortunately her ult is kind of a little too good for this game, especially with how long you're asleep for. We are seeing a Galio floated first, which, you know, you said Wukong, and so we see a Galio.
Yeah, that's not the
Um,
same.
Yeah, those are two totally different characters. I would love to see a B1 Galio. Okay, there's the Wukong we're talking about. Okay, there's the lock-in.
I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense. When you see your enemy go ahead and get rid of the Lilia there, it just, oh god. Oh.
Yo!
They're just listening to you. Like, they're just trolling you. There's no way they actually
no,
lock
no,
it in.
They lock it in.
I know Cafe is not a beta. Like, there's no world. Yeah, see, that's a real jungler. Those are real junglers right there. I will say Ivern wouldn't be the worst idea in the world for the
It's
Wukong,
fine.
but that's better. That's better.
It's fine.
Trundle's
That-
better.
That's top lane. We still got a jungle pick. We're good. See,
I mean,
they're
it could
just
be.
see, Zeta's just flexing on them. They're just gonna draft in order.
Yeah, sure. And that's why this
Watch.
is gonna be Yumi.
Now this is gonna be Ivern. Here comes the
They're
Ivern.
not gonna pick Ivern.
No, they could pick Shyvana. Yo, let me tell you all about Shyvana lore.
Oh
That's
yeah,
Shyvana.
Zeri jungle, pretty good. I do think Zeri is probably the best pick right here though. If you do go ahead and first pick Wukong and you leave Zeri up, I actually do like that. From Dorado Gaming Zeta, the reason they banned Lilia is they probably thought that Iota would go ahead and take away the Zeri instead, but instead they take away Wukong, give over Zeri, and they seem to have a pretty solid answer in the Trundle for the Wukong, because Trundle does take away the armor that Wukong naturally stacks, so that'll be a pretty solid one there. So far, the Nasus is getting hovered, could be locked in. It will not be, though. Ezreal does make a little bit more sense. Pairing that with Nasus, yeah, you kinda... You counter Zeri pretty hard, cause the Zeri to not really be able to play the game, but, I mean, Zeri just takes something like Cleanse, which she'll almost always take anyway, because probably also gonna slap Exhaust on her. So, I think she'll be just fine. As long as Zeri does take the Cleanse for those reasons, then it should be A-okay.
I mean, I would personally like to. That's not the Nasus we were looking at, but Sona. So this is our second week in a row of seeing Sona gaming.
Oh.
Did she get buffed or something and I missed that? Or?
I mean, I think enchanters are just broken right now. I think Sona's pretty strong, and she's an easier version of Seraphine in a way. I do think she's a not as good Seraphine. I think she has more healing than anything. I think she provides a lot more healing shields than Seraphine does. I think Seraphine is more damage focused, more about that range. So she sacrifices some of the healing that she has for the amount of safety that she has inherently with that range. So that might be, and of course Seraphine being banned away. I think Sona's gonna be the next best thing at that point. Whereas they go ahead and they lock in Zillion and Zeri, which I think is possibly one of the most annoying bot lanes to face, and I just can't wait for Joker to start abusing the amount of speed that he'll have on the Zeri.
Yeah, usually whenever I do play support, I always like to lean into the Zillion, because you know what they say, you can't kill you in the Zillion, and it's just really entertaining to just kind of make sure your ADC always respawns, speed them up, throw a bomb on them, let them run into the enemy. It's just so satisfying about playing the old man Time Wizard himself. And we are actually going to be seeing Victor banned away. So right now, I do believe we are up to 5 mid lane bans.
Yeah, there do seem to be there's another one. So
There's
1,
6.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 6.
I guess 7 if you want to count Karthus, because he can't be flexed into mid lane.
I guess 8 if you want to count Lilia too. If you really want to. I guess you could say 9 if you want to count Olaf.
All of these are mid lane bans.
You could say they're all mid laners. I think you could flex
Everything's
Mundo
a
into
mid
mid lane.
laner.
You could say that all of them are mid laners, sure. So Mundo's
Watch him
gonna
ban Yumi out of spite. Yumi's a mid laner.
that would be pretty hype if they go ahead and just do that to prove a point. But I think if you're banning Sylas, you're going to look for something. Actually, you might have just banned Sylas for the fact that you picked up Zillion. I think Sylas actually would have been pretty fun to play here. I do think picking the Azir. Sylas isn't necessarily great into Azir. Early game, of course, yes, in lane he is, but in terms of taking away an ultimate, Sylas isn't that great. I think picking Twisted Fate, knowing for a fact there's no Sylas that can take it away, no Galio that can follow, will give you much needed map pressure. And I think, okay, or you can go Vigard as well for scaling. That's cool too. You definitely need more scaling on this team. With the Ezreal that you have already.
Yes.
And okay.
Scaling.
Alright. I don't know if that's hovered or locked in for the Darius, so I don't know what to say about that yet. So far it's just hovered. And they're good. No way anyone B5 blinds Renekton. That's disgusting.
Please, this would
Is
be
that one hovered? Surely that one's not hovered.
Okay, we're getting word it is still hovered.
Oh, we're gonna see a Kale. We're gonna see a Kale game, guys. It's gonna be a Kale game. I guess it could be. No, it's not gonna be Renekton. It could there's a world where it's Renekton. Do you know how boring this game is going to be if there's actually a Kale? Which is not good for
game
gameplay. Okay, that's pretty hype.
Still Hubbard.
The reason Kale makes this, or at least it should be a really like boring game for like the first 30 minutes, is because no one does any damage until they hit mid-game at least. Okay, so it is going to be the Camille that ends up getting locked in, which I do like. However, I do think this draft is just a little bit more Exodia if instead of Azir, you have Galio. I think Galio would have made it. I think Galio Camille is probably one of the most disgusting engage tools in the game, but I think it's fine. I think having Camille Azir is fine. You make up for that engage with just a little bit more damage. What I am worried about is that you don't have super reliable engage for your team. You pretty much have to just run right at Iota, and they have a lot of disengaged tools, or at least tools that make it a little bit harder for that to be possible from Zeta.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be just a very interesting matchup. I mean, in general, I mean, it is the Dorado mirror match here. And honestly, like, I personally enjoy both of these team comps. I mean, I personally would have liked to have seen Iota pick up the Nasus to help counter the Zeri, make her waste her summoner spells just to attempt to survive, and then what is Nasus's cooldown on his slow? Like 5 seconds? Some weird low number. And then just make Zeri cry.
It is some weird low number, like you're saying. I don't know exactly what it is. We could check, or someone can check.
Check in real quick.
Alright. While you're doing that, we could talk a little bit more about... I want to talk about the top lane matchup, because obviously they did pick the Camille into the Gangplank. I'm almost certain Camille Dumpster's Gangplank. I think there are a lot of options you can pick to counter the Gangplank. I think Kale would have been a good option, but it doesn't like absolutely dumpster Gangplank in lane. It's more of, well, once you hit level 6, you never have to worry about Gangplank again up until like levels 1 through 5 are pretty Gangplank favored, and then after that, you're never gonna get barreled, or you should never get barreled by the Gangplank if you're playing the Kale, as long as you're, you know, good Kale player and know when to time those autos correctly. Or maybe there's a reset as well. I think that's like the main reason that it's unbelievably broken. But also looking towards the mid lane, and both just want to scale up as much as they can. I do think that Vigar might have the edge a little bit just because he's harder to mess up than Azir, and I think that'll play really well into his favor. And then looking more towards that bot lane, you do have the Ezreal and the Sona into Zeri Zillion. And something to point out is that people were talking about is that Ezreal does. People have an idea that Ezreal, I don't want to necessarily call it a misconception because it's like kind of true, is that he does really well into squishy champions because he can burst them and poke them down very easily. However, I actually think if there were like 3 bruisers or tanks, Ezreal would actually be having the time of his life, because there's no world that Ezreal should ever die against 3 like just hard tanks or bruisers. Or if there's like 4 melee people on one team, Ezreal kind of just gets to do whatever he wants because they can't catch him late game or even mid game, and he just gets to kite them out forever, poke them out, and eventually after that re-engage and go back in and like clean it up. But when you do have someone like Azir, like the Zillion, like the Camille is a very big one as well, it makes it extremely hard for the Ezreal to actually play the game, especially if Camille ults him. He can't really E or flash out of that one.
Yeah, it is definitely very unfortunate for the Ezreal. And speaking of E'ing and flashing out of something, we hope you do not flash your way out of this stream, because we are going to be sending it to a quick break, and we are going to be right back on this Dorado Gaming Iota versus Dorado Gaming Zeta matchup. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
time slows down when it can get no worse. I can feel it running out on me. I don't want these to be my last words. All forgotten, 'cause that's all they'll be. Now there's only one thing I can do. Fight until the end like I promised to. Wishing there was something left to lose. This could be the day I die for you. What do you see before it's over? Blinding flashes getting closer. Wish that I had something left to lose. This could be the day I die for you. This could be the day I die for you. This could be the day I die for you. This could be the day. Everything I know, everything I hold tight. When to let it go, when to make them all fight. When I'm in control, when I'm out of my mind. When I gotta live, when I gotta die, gotta die. Everything I know, everything I hold tight. When to let it go, when to make them all fight. When I'm in control, when I'm out of my mind. When I gotta live, when I gotta die. This could be the day I die for you. Feeling like there's nothing I can do. This could be the end, it's mine to choose. It's taken me my lifetime just to prove. This could be the day I die for you. Don't let it be the day. What do you see before it's over? Blinded flashes getting closer. Sacrificing everything I knew. This could be the day I die for you. This could be the day I die for you. Everything I know, everything I hold tight. When to let it go, when to make them all fight. When I'm in control, when I'm out of my mind. When I gotta live, when I gotta die.
Am I serious? I feel totally lost. If I'm asking for help, it's only because being with you has opened my eyes. Could I ever believe such a perfect surprise? I keep asking myself, wondering how. I keep closing my eyes, but I can't block you out. Wanna fly to a place where it's just you and me, nobody else, so we can be free. All the things she said, all the things she said, running through my head, running through my head, running through my head. All the things she said, all the things she said, running through my head, running through my head. All the things she said. This is not enough. This is not enough. And I'm all mixed up, feeling cornered and rushed. They say it's my fault, but I want it so much. Wanna fly her away with the sun and the rain coming over my face, wash away all the shame. When he stopped and said, don't worry me, 'cause I'm feeling for her what she's feeling for me. I can try to pretend, I can try to forget, but it's
Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to game number 1 of the thrilling Civil War series between Dorado Gaming Iota and Dorado Gaming Zeta. On the blue side, we have Iota, and on the red side, we have Zeta. And I gotta say, I know Kongman is gonna make some dog jokes, so I won't keep you guys from that. I won't deprive you of Kongman's sick jokes. So go ahead and take it away, buddy.
I mean, as we do see, it is just going to be a nice 5-point stare down between the dogs themselves. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that everything is going. Uh, sorry, I had something pop up on my screen that I've never seen before.
How?
But anyway, so we are. What?
Nothing.
I get distracted easily.
I was just confused as to I'm just confused about something, and now I'm pressing buttons to try to make it happen, and it's not. So, anyway, as
Yeah, I think we're all attempting to figure. I don't know if it showed up on stream, but we could see where is this coming from? How is this?
anyway, I'm not gonna keep you. Production's like kind of freaking out. We found Parsec chat. This is
What?
something that apparently Kongman had never seen.
Oh!
It's pretty insane if you really think about it. Anyway, as we can now talk a little bit more about the game and what we might be seeing. Of course, we're seeing the Chad jungler from Zeta pathing down towards the bot lane, whereas we see Wukong full clearing his jungle, probably towards top side if I had to guess. So we'll see.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be interesting to see who exactly is going to finish this clear first. We might actually see Trundle go for an early gank into the bot lane, do his nice little 3 camp, then get an early gank, or we might even see Wukong do that. I mean, the possibilities are endless for this mirror match because, you know, these two teams, they probably practice against each other a lot, and now they have to sit back and realize and go, wait a minute, this is the real deal.
Yeah, as top lane is going pretty boring, as you'd expect. Pre-level 3, I think that's when the all-ins are most likely to happen, especially if you are on the Camille. I doubt we're going to see anything before that. As you gotta hope, if you're a fan of Iota and for some reason not a fan of Zeta, that you're seeing Trundle and you're like, or that Iota is keeping a good track of the Trundle. On if he's not, then that's going to be a little strange. And Trundle's pathing already is not the greatest, or not the greatest, but not the most normal, I should say. It's working pretty well for him. He is stealing Raptors pretty much for free. It's all about, does Wukong go ahead and know that this is happening and invade, or does he start his way back over to the Raptors? Was a weird clear to leave the Raptors up, if I'm being honest. I don't know if I fully agree with that decision from the Wukong here.
To be fair, we did see Trundle kind of walk over, so we did see that the Raptors are still up, so they might be thinking he's still in the blue jungle, might be pathing downwards, so they might be playing a little bit more conservatively. Unfortunately, the Wukong did try to show up top lane to gank, but Fireflanzy immediately went back to his tower and said, nah, I don't think you're going to gank me here.
Yep, for sure. Camille playing very safe so far. As Trundle was looking for a gank in the mid lane, not going to find that one either, as Zeri trying to get that damage down onto the Sona, is going to get her a little bit below half HP, bomb goes down, Ezreal going to get chunked out a little bit more as well. Should be all we see in terms of trading for a little bit, at least from the bot lane. I doubt we're going to see any all-ins until like level 6. Someone would have to severely mess up in bot lane for there to actually be a decent play to go for before level 6. So we'll see if that ends up being the case, though.
Yep, it's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, we are only 4.5 minutes into the game. Everyone seems to be been chilling at the moment. Taking a quick look around, we do see Vigar with the ultimate spellbook runes. Runes just kind of seem to be pretty standard around the board. It is interesting seeing Azir with first strike, especially into this Vigar matchup.
Nice stun onto the Sona. Sona going to take a little bit more damage as well, but healing it up all the same. If I had to guess, Sona's probably wanting to... Oh my god, look how big of a wave this is crashing under the tower for the Gangplank. Gonna have to collect all of this, and as a result, Camille's going to get a nice recall off for herself. Solid W from Kanji. go ahead and get some damage down, but it's not going to be too much more. And once again, looking at the pathing from Trundle, looking for a gank towards the bot half of the map, whereas Wukong is still clearing towards top side. He's going to go to Gromp right after this, still look for something towards top. And I do like that from Wukong. I'm not like super against that because I think getting Gangplank ahead is definitely a perfectly reasonable win condition to go for this game.
Yeah, I mean, we do also know that late game Gangplank can get pretty scary. We can't forget the 1 week where we saw Gangplank one-shot a Lux with one single barrel. That was just a beautiful sight to see. And honestly, Gangplank could probably do that to a couple of the characters on the side of Zeta.
Yeah, definitely could happen, as now we're going to see Ezreal does miss that W, unfortunately. Could look for a little bit more. Doubt he's going to get it, though. As Trundle is going to go ahead and start up this Dragon, it looks like, does have the priority, or at least knows that Vigart isn't in the area, thinking that he's backed. But Azir will go ahead and just start pushing that one out, try to get at least some priority back for himself. As Ezreal goes for a nice trade, isn't going to find too much, though, is weaving in some Qs. Again, not a lot of just straight up kill pressure, mostly just going for that poke, for that damage. Not going to be really seeing that all in, especially if that E is already down for the poke. After that, it's very hard to continue the play. But Dragon will be picked up by Trundle.
Yeah, but it is going to be the Mountain Drake, which is going to be really good for the Zeta composition, considering the fact we do have quite a good couple tanks on their side. So picking up the Mountain Soul is going to be not Mountain Soul, but the Mountain Drag is going to be a good start for them.
Now, I noticed you said there's a couple tanks on the side of Zeta. I would argue they have 0, but I could also argue that they have like 1.
I mean, Trundle can potentially be.
Yeah. And he does have Sun. He does have Sunfire, so he is probably going to go ahead and build like either Iceborne Gauntlet or the Sunfire Aegis. So that would those two things would make sense, and he would be building full tank at that point. Now the Camille, I don't know how I feel about calling Camille a tank.
I mean, Camille could potentially become a tank, same with Azir. I mean, I've seen Azir tank a couple times. It's not great, but it is decent. It's like an off-meta build. We probably won't see it this game, but it is something to keep in mind, especially since he is going up against a Vigar. And, you know,
Okay.
Vigar R goes Burr.
You know, I'd be pretty hyped to see Azir tank if that is something that is a reasonable decision. As you're saying, though, it's probably just going to be full damage. Makes more sense for their comp when I get some more damage there. An AP, like a solid AP threat is definitely necessary for what they've drafted themselves. Of course, there's no like full tank on the other side. And when it does come to anyone building magic resist, no one should be just hard building magic resist anyway on the side of Iota. I guess if anyone, maybe Wukong would go ahead and get something like a Hex Shrinker if there was more like of an AP threat. But he's more likely to get something like Asterix if he does want a lifeline type ability. So we'll see if he does end up going that at all this game. But of course, that would be way further down the line. He wants to go ahead and complete that mythic, get some of those other items like a Death Stance a little earlier, though.
Yeah, and I do want to point out that we are 9 minutes into the game. There's only about a 200 gold difference, and the CS is pretty even across the board. I mean, Vigard does have about a 1 wave lead over this Azir, and Zillion with a nice 2 CS lead over this Sona. Pretty nice to see.
Absolutely. Support diff right there. I mean, imagine only having 1 CS in the game. Pretty upsetting. As we will see, they were trying to set up a dive, but Camille sniffs it out pretty well. Fireflans knowing that that's exactly what they want to do, knowing this Wukong has only really been playing around the top side of the map, knows to look out for those types of plays. Gotta give credit where credit's due, because if all of that means nothing, Joker actually popping the ultimate 1 second, trying to find something. Will he be able to find anything more than that, though? The speed, the stuns are going to come through the cleanse immediately after. The ult from the Zillion is going to keep Zeri alive, just barely waiting until the last second. Great job from Kibbles to go ahead and use that one. This Joker is not going to be able to find anything more than the ult out of Sona. And apparently the heal and exhaust, I want to say, is what the Ezreal has there. So, I mean, pretty solid stuff all around from both sides to go ahead and pop what they can. But all around, I believe Zeta wins out on that trade. Stun's going to drop, but not enough for them to go in onto the Ezreal with.
Yep, it was definitely a very good interaction in the bot lane. Sadly, we are now 10.5 minutes in. Still no kills, still a perfect 0-0 game. Iota is currently up about 600 gold, but that can easily sway one way or another. We're also going to be having the next dragon spawn here in just a moment's time. And Fireflands, wait a minute, there's a fight going on.
Yeah, looking for that first blood, as that's going to be a great flash from the Gangplank. Going to try to get himself out of this one. Flash drops. There's the ult from the Gangplank as well. Going to try to outplay this one best as he can, but Cafe's going to pick up the kill. Will it be answered back, though, is the question. Kanji is here. I think it was a little bit too late, though, to try to make anything happen. As a result, he's not going to be able to avenge his top laner, and as a result of that, Zeta is going to be up 1-0. Cafe taking first blood.
Yep, you know, that's the fashion of the good old caster curse. I spoke a little bit too much about how it's a perfect game, no trades, no kills, no anything, and now all of a sudden Harmonica God has fallen to the hands of Cafe, and now Cafe is going to be scaling a little bit faster as Trundle, which is going to be very interesting to see, and he's already pathing bot side towards that next dragon.
Yeah, and that's what Wukong wants to try to set up as well. Trundle going to be a little bit later. Yes, it is up now, but Wukong doesn't really have the health to go ahead and do this without being in a severe position. The Azir is also coming up as well. Ezreal trying to shove this wave out best as he can, but Ezreal not really great at doing that, even if he does use his ultimate. Now Camille going in, stunning up the Gangplank. Gangplank, a nice dodge away from that W, actually, to keep him from getting slowed. Probably wouldn't have died if he did get hit by it, but still, pretty solid dancing shoes on the GP there.
Yep, definitely have to agree with the dancing shoes figure of speech there, and we do see that Wukong is kind of walking away from dragon, so we might actually see Zeta be able to walk up and take this dragon for free. Potentially?
Yeah, definitely could be what ends up happening here. We'll see if it is the case. They are walking over now, or maybe they want to go ahead, try to make something happen down in the bot lane proper before anything. Trying to find a play onto the Sona. Sona in a bad position does use the flash to get out. Wukong walking in now, trying to find a play as well, but the W is going to force him away for it now. Meanwhile, the top lane, not a whole lot. Camille did have the option to freeze, or maybe Gangplank wouldn't have allowed that with the barrels. Causes the wave to crash, but they want to go ahead and maybe try to contest this first dragon. I don't think it's necessary. Wukong is here. He ends up stealing it. What a smite from him, but he does go down. Joker will find the kill. Kanji will go ahead and use that that event horizon, to go ahead and not allow anyone to follow up there, and gets his teammate out after that. But that's still a decent trade for Zeta, but I think it's still pretty worth for Iota.
Yeah, definitely Iota taking away that dragon to tie it up 1-1 is actually a really good value, because unfortunately if Zeta was able to get the Hextech dragon, then Cafe would just be able to scale even more, a little insane. So honestly, like, trading the life of Wukong?
The flash in from the Zeri does get that speed boost from the Zilean. A nice ultimate right onto Zeri. Zeri's gonna get rid of that one, though. Try to do as much damage as possible. Does have an auto in store. Gonna use that speed best of her ability. The ultimate comes out from the Zilean. One more auto would do it on Joker. Joker, you can't stay here. It'll despawn there. As now, looking like Iota's bot lane getting the better of this Zeri Zilean combo, who just got a little too big for the britches there. Is now maybe trying to find a play onto this Azir, but Azir is such a safe champion that I think they're going to be hard-pressed to find this kill. Event Horizon is going to drop down. Kanji does miss one ability, forces him to flash out, and that's still a pretty big summoner spell used, but Azir does still have that dash that he can use to get away. Event Horizon will be making that a little bit more difficult in the future.
Yep, definitely is interesting here, and I do want to point out Veigar is about 2 waves up over this Azir, so Azir is definitely crawling out of a little bit of a tight hole that he's kind of put himself in. Fireflan's doing a good job just clearing a barrel thrown out by the Gangplank. More of like a zoning barrel, the way I see it.
Yep, absolutely is. Now they're going to go ahead and speed up Joker, try to find something, mainly just to get to the minions. Nice control ward means that this Gangplank could be dead. We'll see if that is the case. No flash available for him. Getting hit up all around the place. Nowhere to go for GP. Camille's going to pick up that kill easily. Meanwhile, Sona getting bullied out a little bit under her own tower. Does have W to heal herself up just a little bit, though. Wonder if she's maxing that. I believe she's maxing Q based on how much that ended up healing there. Well, is in fact a W max, so W max, maybe it's just because she didn't have quite as much there yet. She is level 8, so it's not fully maxed out yet. So that's probably why it's not quite as much healing as I'm expecting so far. Kanji going to go ahead and take away that control ward as well. Start setting up as much vision as possible. But Azir might not be too happy about that one.
Yeah, meanwhile, while we were looking down on the bot side, I do want to point out Cafe did take the Rift Herald, so this is going to be another weapon in Zeta's arsenal. It's going to be interesting to see where they drop it. We might see this mid lane because Kongi might have to back here soon with how much pressure Shimuwu is putting out at the moment.
For sure, as that's going to be a bomb that will swing wide. And I gotta say, remember how I said this game was going to be boring because of how much scaling was in it, and it would be even more boring if Kayle was in it because it would just be 3 lanes. Literally everybody just wants to scale. Yeah, it's still like that, except the Camille is trying to provide a little bit more action. Bot lane's also trying to provide a little bit more action. Maybe with that ultimate, it's not quite gonna find its mark. The True Shot Barrage does swing wide. Kibble's trying to walk up. And we see Trundle going for the fight. The 1v2 so far. Kanji is going to miss that event horizon, as maybe this could be grounds for a re-engage. W is going to miss just barely from the Zeri. As now Ezreal going to try to zone the Zeri off the tower with some Qs. Is not going to quite do the job there, as that's a nice stun. This time around, Gangplank does have that flash available, though, so he won't be in danger of dying quite yet here.
Yep, and there's the Rift Herald in the mid lane that I predicted this tower should be going down, I believe. I believe they got it to a low enough health. Yep, there it is. Shelly does a good job taking down the first tower for the side of Dorado Zeta.
For sure, as now they're going to go ahead and try to maybe get a little bit more, as now Kanji is pushing up, trying to just clear as many of these waves as possible to deal with this Azir here. As Azir will begin that recall on up, should get out of there pretty easily. As we'll see what the Ezreal is able to do. Hits the True Shot Barrage onto the Zeri. Goes in with the EQ. Is going to do a good bit more damage onto Zeri, but that's going to be all she wrote. No real kill pressure right after that, as Joker will be able to get away scot-free after that one. But isn't going to recall quite yet. Uses that moment of Ezreal resetting to go ahead, set up the dragon with her team, as Iota is going to be a little bit late to this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not going to have the Ezreal or the Ezreal ult because he did just use it in lane. So here, going to be looking for a steal. Unfortunately, doesn't get it, and Cledric is going to be going over to the side of Dorado Zeta.
Yep, a solid flash out to, or a solid W in to try to take it there, but that will result in Gangplank getting the tower in topside. Not first tower of the game, that was gotten in mid lane just a little bit earlier, but you know, still being able to trade Dragon for tower, trying to make things as worth as possible from the side of Iota. All of a sudden, maybe in some trouble. Ult is going to drop down Hexic Ultimatum, but the ultimate from Gangplank is going to fill that entire area. It doesn't matter, though, because that Cho'Gath ultimate of a Q, just too much damage. Meanwhile, Joker trying to fight back. Yes, Arch is going for this one, but Cafe is here. The ultimate comes down from the Zillion and causes that to never, ever be an option for this Ezreal. Now Sona's going to go down as well to that Zillion bomb, as all of a sudden things have exploded open for the side of Zeta.
Yeah, Zeta has definitely heard the whistle. The rabbit was released, and now the dogs are off for their races in this matchup. Definitely taking down the second tower, and honestly, this is looking like a very nice one-sided Zeta matchup.
Nice assassination from the Wukong onto the backline, trying to find Joker as well. Basically 2v1ing this entire thing. Kanji with the zoning there. The event horizon trying to trap Cafe, but Cafe flashes out. Will they be able to catch him? Does not look like it at all. Zero is going to go ahead and keep pushing this mid lane tower to the best of his ability. Might even try to find the tower itself. True Shot Barrage will hit. Still going to look for the damage. Might even be able to get the tower even with Ezreal here, but Ezreal is going to look for the damage onto Shima. Shima goes ahead and shuffles right on out of there.
Yep, and we are going. I believe this is Baron. Yep, the Baron has now spawned. I didn't realize we're already 20 minutes into this matchup. I thought another Rift Herald was getting ready to spawn. But right now, mid tower for Iota is not looking very good at the moment.
No, that mid tower is not looking too hot, and you gotta imagine Iota wants to try to respond with as much as possible, try to get this mid lane tower, try to get that bot lane tower as well. That's what Kanji is doing right there. Gonna go ahead and take that one very soon. Zillion probably not in danger of dying where he is at the moment. Teleport is, that seems like a bit of a mistake. I can't defend that one. I don't know how to defend that decision.
I think that's just one of the decisions you just kind of look at and go, "Yep, this is not my problem."
No, but he teleported to the tower and the tower died.
Now,
So,
I do
like,
want to point out that that Ezreal ult did hit Zeri and somehow clipped Fireflans up in the top lane.
that's pretty hype. I don't know how that's possible, but
Fireflans was just chilling, walking back to lane, and just casually
his
walked
ult,
into an
okay.
Ezreal ult.
Okay, I thought you meant with the Q, and I was like, that shouldn't ever be
No.
possible, but okay. I don't know how that happened,
Yo,
but
Ezreal
I feel
Q
like that's a
infinite range.
pause. That'd be pretty broken. That'd be a fun ability though if it like traveled just as fast, but did like as much damage as like a level 1 Ezreal Q did, but always.
Yeah.
I think that would be a well designed champ. They can't leave base ever. They just have to skill shot from base all the time.
Just make it a Karthus Q, unlimited range.
Exactly. Sweet. Apparently it was a thing before. A bug, but it was a thing. So
It's beautiful.
again, I'm telling you, that's a great champion design. Not that it would just hit you automatically, but you could just queue from anywhere. As like, but you just can't leave. Like you're
Oh, that's
physically
fine.
not allowed to. Oh, that Zillion is absolutely dead. Good thing he has a redo button. Will be able to live for just a little bit longer, but he gets taken down once again. Punished for such a greedy path to be taken, especially into a Vigar who does have that event horizon. Zona had ult as well. There were a lot of tools that could have been used to take that life. Now 5 members are strong mid. They're just absolutely deathballing. Camille is walking down now though, as they're going to try to defend this one with their lives. Cafe walking up, trying to find something. Here comes the Azir. Not going to be able to do too much, though. They're just trying to clear away these waves. Maybe set up for the dragon, but with the side of the, I want to say that's Wukong backing off. It is, in fact. It's going to mean that they're not going to set up dragon now, whereas Zeta might somehow have first walk into the pit, which should never really be allowed here.
Yeah, definitely shouldn't be allowed, considering the fact that Kibbles died at such an early point in that fight, and definitely bad props to Iota for timing that respawn off of Kibbles perfectly, because he immediately respawned and just instantly got deleted.
For sure, being able to be the first ones in the pit. They're not using that power to zone them off. They don't really have that, but with the teleport from Camille coming in, this could be a dire situation for Iota. They're going to go ahead and start backing up. Dragon is started by Zeta, taking it as fast as they can. The stun could come down onto the Wukong. Now the Gangplank ultimate, that cannon barrage is coming down. The dragon will reset. All of a sudden, this Dragon Dance got a lot scarier. Firefly's taking a lot of damage. Here comes O'Hare onto the backline. Will he be able to do more than that, though? They're killing the clone all the way in the backline. Will the Azir be able to do anything? No, he gets taken down. Shut down for the Ezreal. Will they be able to play this front to back? A double kill for the Zeri. They have killed the Gangplank as well. Kanji's going to find another, but that's a triple kill for the Zeri so far. Looking for the Quadra. Flash over the wall, doing what he can to get out of there. Cafe will take that Quadra away. Kanji running for the hills. Will the W be able to find its mark? Yes, it will. Through the Trundle E. Is it enough to find it? Yes, it is. A great play. Pretty sure Pillar Z anyway. Hope I didn't get that one wrong, as now they will be able to take that dragon away for themselves after a pretty dicey team fight, which I gotta say, Iota just barely played worse. But at the end of the day, I would rather say that Zeta just played it a step better than Iota.
Yeah, but we are now on soul point for Zeta, and honestly, like, as long as Zeta wins this match, or even if they don't, I firmly believe that Cafe is going to be the MVP of this match, just based on those pillar placements alone. Because not only did we see Camille do her bounce off of one of his pillars into the team, we did also see, I'm blanking on the name of Zeri's ability, the wall bang through the pillar to help
That's
take
it.
out
It's
the
wallbang.
Zygar. Ultra Shock Laser.
What a
You know,
lame
Ultra
name.
Shock Laser,
Terrible.
the Wall Bang, Mad Maggie's Riot Drill for you Apex fans out there.
Ew.
Don't kill me.
I
It's a
prefer the
Vict-
mining laser from Star Citizen
Okay, I respect that.
from the Prospector. The game is out. I'm playing it right now. So not right now. Not on
He's
stream.
playing it right now in casting.
No, my computer will not survive that. But talking a little bit more about this game, we do see the Wukong maybe trying to find a play onto Shima. Shima in a bad situation. Cyclone's going to come through. Shima kind of thought that he was Wukong for a second, just stood still. Now Camille on the top side of the map going for the solo kill for herself. Should be able to easily find a Cannon Barrage. Is dropping now. Fireflans does find that kill as somehow Azir was able to survive. I think it was partially because he was able to drop his own tower down. As now W is going to drop here. Sona taking a lot of damage, but that ult's going to come through. Cafe was pretty much just baiting them to go in, taunting a little bit, BMing if you will. As now Joker is going to go ahead and take some of the CS. That should be enough of the action for now. Maybe set up this Baron, try to bait Iota into a bad situation while Fireflans is taking this top tower, as you're going to return to pushing out the bot wave as well.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be interesting to see if Iota is going to walk in here. Little do they know is that Zeta is actually backing, so they're not actually going to look for this Baron, and I think Iota is just now picking up on that.
For sure. We'll see if that's going to be the case, as now and mid tower is very low, should be going down on the next push that they do have here, especially with Ezreal Wukong backing. If they know that that is the case, that would be a pretty easy objective to go ahead and take down. But of course, them not knowing that would be way too dangerous for them to go ahead and blindly walk into, would be a recipe for getting collapsed upon. Won't go ahead and do it. But what they might do is try to catch out Vygar, but he does... Oh, actually, never mind. He does not have a lot of vision. He is a... Considering how blind this Vygar is, it's actually pretty risky for him to be up this far. Speaking of risky to be up this far, Gangplank dared to step out of base, does use the flash to get away for a little bit longer, but will still die, does not find nearly enough time. Event Horizon is beautifully placed. Shima in a bad situation, going to get rooted up. Will he die, though, is the question. Kanji is getting a little bit outplayed here so far. Nice flash from Shima. Event Horizon drops, so does the Primordial Burst, but it's just not enough damage, as now all of a sudden Zohair in a bad place is going to be taken down whilst in the Cyclone right there. Ride the Cyclone indeed will end in your death. So they will go ahead and get on to this Baron. Gonna go ahead and start that one up. Should be a pretty free objective for the side of the Dogs. Meanwhile, the Ezreal and Sona trying to find their way in should not be able to do so. That's a pretty free objective for the Dogs.
Yep, there is the Ezreal ult, almost steals the Baron and takes out Fireflans in the process. We did see Shibubu use his teleport to help with the Baron. I don't believe that was really needed, so that is going to be a nice long cooldown for the TP. Maybe he knew something that I didn't know, but next thing up on the list is in 1 minute we are on Soul Point.
Yep. It is and yeah, 1 minute away from being on Soul Point. Not great. Not a great time for that to be happening. If you are Iota, you would prefer to have a little bit more time to scale, because guess who has been scaling plenty? The side of the Dogs. I mean, you look at their items compared to their enemies. Now, we do see 3 crit cloaks completed for the Gangplank, like he's playing Misfortune in that one patch where crit cloaks were giving like 25% crit chance instead of 20. Which was a pretty crazy, or maybe it was 20 instead of 25. I'm pretty sure it was 25 though. It was something ridiculous where
Yeah,
that
there
was
was
a
one point
genuine
where
strategy.
there's one point where it was 25 and you could just stack them all, and then they fixed it down to 20, and then it became a joke in ARAM to just build 5 of those instantly.
I mean, but how hype is that? That's just too good. As now going for the play onto Shima. Shima does use that Shurima Shuffle, or maybe not even the Shurima Shuffle, rather just the wall right there. So now Joker trying to find a play, just punching through. Joker does get a little bit too frantic there, going up a little bit too far. Arch trying to find the plays, does get stunned up, not being allowed to progress forward. As a result, Gangplank takes a little more damage than he probably would have thought that he would, as now Gangplank should go down here, is going to be taken down very shortly. There it is. Cafe was just dancing on him, finds the kill too. funniest part about that, Cyclone will drop down. It'll be a nice ult right on to, I believe it's the Azir. Azir will be kept alive for just a little bit longer, but it's just not enough to keep him dead there, as now the Vygar will go down. The bombs are going to be dropping. Azir almost went down, but he's still somehow alive. Nice W. That chunks the Sona. Sona going to be in a bad position. Cafe wants to try to find the kill. Easily able to do that. Meanwhile, Fireflans is pushing everything in the top side. That was a 4v5 that was easily won by Dorado Gaming Zeta. They want to go ahead. They want to try to find a little bit more. This inhibitor is not so long for this world. Should be getting taken by Fireflans. Arch trying to do what he can. Should be taken down soon here. Or if he does try to space out a little bit more than he already is, he should be just fine, especially with Joker and Kibbles running away to go ahead and collect Soul. Should be a-okay, but the team might not be after this. An 11k gold lead is not looking too hot for Iota.
Yeah, and unfortunately Wukong is not going to be able to get here in time. Ezreal does not have his ult, so that is going to be soul point going over to Dorado Gaming Zeta themselves. Dorado Gaming Iota is going to be sitting here going, alright, is there any scenario we can win this, or do we just, attempt to stall for time and get more stream action for game 1?
For sure, as we will see that True Shot Barrage V fired off into just about nothing, as we do see that red buff getting taken away. As now here comes Fireflans right onto the GP. GP doing what he can to try to run away, but GP, I feel like we've seen this one countless times before. It does end up going down. I'm going to go ahead and start chewing through all these waves. And now Zohair trying to do what he can. Doesn't seem to matter, though. Only a matter of time, realistically, before Zeta go ahead and end this one. Zohair is hiding in the jungle, is going to spot out Cafe. Or did Cafe spot him out? Either way, it doesn't matter. Should be no kill coming through quite yet. Kanji trying to find the flank. Does get stunned up. Will he be able to find play? Event Horizon has dropped as Kibbles is just dodging away from everything, but they're going back in with that Shirelius, and now Kanji in a very bad position. Should be going down. Event Horizon will not save you now, as he will fall. Mid tower going to be the next objective to go, you'd have to imagine. Or maybe they'll just go directly onto the Nexus. Fireflans doing whatever the hell he wants, as Zahara trying to go in will not be able to do so, as they have to respond to Fireflans, as now the middle inhibitor will fall. Next is the next Nexus tower. Cafe wants to try to find something. Fireflans going in, wants to try to find the GP one more time. Camourage is going to drop as GP will fall. Does not save him. Zahir going back in onto Kibbles. Kibbles is going to use that ultimate to save his life. Zahir trying to survive as long as he can. Will not be able to do so. Sona going to go down. Double kill for the Zeri. But they managed to find the kill at least onto the Azir there. Ezreal trying to fight back. Trying to find a little bit more kills. Will he be able to do so is the question. Doesn't have the range advantage. Zeri is able to do whatever she wants, and it does not matter. Ezreal cannot save the game as his Nexus explodes, and Zeta will take the lead 1-0.
Yeah, I definitely want to say the very start of this game was a little bit slow, very nice, even back and forth between both dogs. And then all of a sudden, Zeta realized, hey, we are the alpha dog in this scenario. So we are just going to show you how to play this game and just how to absolutely dominate this matchup.
Yeah, and they absolutely dominated the matchup. I mean, even if you look at it like how slow of a game it was, it does open up 6-0. Yes, right after the 6-0, it is responded with 2 kills. But I mean, ever since then, it's just never going to be. I'm just not now. After
That's
after
some
that,
good victory music.
that was my dad, by the way. So like that's why I was like kind of annoyed. But anyway, as I was talking about this game just a little bit, I just feel like Zeta plays the game really well, and compared to Iota, especially after they get those 6 kills, they never really let up on the gas, and that's seen if you just go back and you skim through the game. I mean, Zeta was just absolutely hounding Dorado Gaming Iota.
I like how we hear Dodge sighing in disbelief as now Shogun has joined me in the puns and speaking.
I mean, it was right there. I mean, I wasn't forcing mine. That one just came. I was like, I could say either hounding or pounding. Why would they say pounding when I could say hounding? You know? Might as
Right,
well.
well, as we
What
take,
can I say? You can't teach an old dog new tricks, man.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yep, and unfortunately, we are going to have to see if Iota can come back from this or if they're just going to stay a dog in this matchup whatsoever. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Game 2 of Dorado Gaming Zeta versus Dorado Gaming Iota.
always on the outside, through a window looking in. Never the right time, so the chance goes by again. Lines begin to show, and we feel broken. To move on, we have to drop the pieces we're holding. And no one is perfect. You don't need to be strong every single day. No one really knows along the way that the best things in life will be perfect anyway. Chase the wind again, knowing just what they'll say. Don't care anymore, can't stay still anyway. Lines begin to show, we feel broken. To move on, we have to drop the pieces we're holding. And no one is perfect. You don't need to be strong every single day. No one really knows along the way that the best things in life will be perfect anyway.
That was a game one, fellas. It was probably not the game one that Dog Iota was hoping for, but the Dogs on the other side had a good time. Where did it all go wrong, Kongman?
I mean, definitely the big problem was that I felt like there wasn't a lot of dragon contention. I mean, we did see Wukong steal the, I believe it was the second dragon was stolen. It was the
Hextech,
first or second.
yes.
Yeah, it was the second dragon, the Hextech one that was stolen. And then after that, it seemed like they were very disorganized. Unfortunately, Gangplank did not get barely any help whatsoever from the
That
Wukong
GP,
Camille.
man.
Camille
Okay.
just kind of bodied them. And to be fair, I think after that match, Gangplank is sitting back and he's going, well, Dog got it. That was not fun.
That one, I'm not going to accept that one. That wasn't too clean. Shogun, make your point, sir.
I have to like defend Wukong because Wukong the entire game was playing for topside and he was trying to gank topside. Camille never let the ganks happen, and that needs to be talked about a little bit more because that's not on Wukong necessarily. It's on a little bit of a mixture between Gangplank and Wukong to not be clearing any vision that Camille might have, or if they were clearing vision, I don't even recall exactly there. I just remember specifically there was a play where Wukong and Gangplank were setting up a dive on the Camille, and Camille just walks away from the play, and that really just spoke the entire story of the game for the side of Gangplank and Wukong trying to make plays around the top side. They were never really allowed to because Camille would always kind of like either spot it out or just, have a bad feeling about a play and would just easily
shot.
be able to, hook shot away or just, not be at the play to begin with.
Yeah, it was a rough one around that top side in game number one. Hopefully,
I get
goes a
it.
little
It
bit
was rough.
better. Oh, I didn't even. You know what? We're ready for Champ Select. I can't deal with this anymore. Take it. Go. Get me out. Get me out.
Unfortunately, Dodge came to the wrong stream because I believe he's barking up the wrong tree with these puns.
Oh,
As we can hear him sigh on his way out. Beautiful.
The worst part about that is I was also gonna make a bark up the wrong.
Yo!
Like that was also a plan that I had, so like I can't even knock that one. We might be getting into draft soon. They might need a little bit more time. It depends. We'll see what they're thinking. But we could talk about draft a little bit. What we're expecting to see from these teams. I expect to see a Zeri ban, especially with Zeta on blue side. I think Zeri was a big part of that win. Yes, you could say that the Trundle was also a big part of it as well. But I don't know. I just think Zeri is such a broken ADC right now, and I felt like Zeri was allowed to do whatever the heck she wanted. And even though a big part of that was the Zillion, I think a very similar outcome could have been achieved with a different support.
Yeah, I mean, anything is possible in this draft. Coming up next. Alright, I think I took Shogun a second to realize what that one was. But we are going to be seeing Zeta having the first pick, so I could potentially see on the side of Iota seeing Zeri, Seraphine being banned as the first two options. And then the third option, we might see the Trundle ban. Or actually, we might see the Wukong ban, because it might also be a good first pick.
Yeah, I could see it being a good first pick. I do think that Iota is going to save their counter pick for topside. Because you gotta imagine that their top laner has a bone to pick with Fireflans after that first game, especially with how it went. And you're not even laughing at my pun. I'm angry. It just went completely over everybody. That's how good. That's how they should be. That's how they should be. They went completely unnoticed. Nobody said anything about it. And it was beautiful.
Can you repeat it for the ones in the back?
I said that the top laner for Iota has a bone to pick with Fireflans.
Boo.
See, that was good. That was phenomenal, even. Some would argue. So, we'll see what Zeta end up doing. I do still think, like, my point still remains that I think Iota is going to want to counterpick for top lane so they can have a good matchup for Bald and Down Bad. It's just a phenomenal name. Because I don't think he wants to have that same treatment that he was given in game number 1. Now, I will say that he was playing a little bit aggressive on the gangplank. I don't think he needed to be pushing up as much as he was. And that was a big part of why he ended up dying towards that mid to late game. About every single time we looked at topside, it was because gangplank was dying. However, if he could just fix that and not push up so far, because he doesn't have to, at the end of the day, yes, you can go barrel and then just clear the entire wave. You should be trying your best to freeze the wave and trying to just farm with and last hit with your Q and your autos. I'm trying to Q as much as you possibly can, or at least last hit with Q as much as you can, so you can still get those coins. Yes, the barrels also give you the coins way faster, so that might be, maybe they're called Silver Serpents, I forget exactly. Okay, so I did get confirmation that they are called Silver Serpents. So wanting to stack those is, like, on paper makes sense, but if you're gonna put yourself in a situation where you're just gonna get killed on repeat, it's not exactly worth, as we ended up seeing by the end of the game there.
Yeah, one thing I do want to point out is that for Iota, this is actually a different top laner. Because game one was Harmonica God, who did unfortunately go 0-9. Oh, it is. I'm being told that this might be the same person.
That would make sense. Whoa, everything changed for a second. Did you see that? That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. So Koggy is actually in chat asking me what he should play, and I tried to suggest him the Corgi, because, you know, we could do a lot more dog puns like Corgi with that one. And he said that they're probably going to ban it now. Yeah, Kogma would also work.
That'd be pretty hype as the Yasuo does get taken away. As Alistar is being hovered already, that's a weird one to me. I don't know why you'd ban Alistar off the cuff. I feel like that'll probably be replaced with something else, but we'll see in just a second here.
Yep, it is going to be changed over to Zillion. You know, just go from the A to Z real fast.
Exactly, and the Karthus, of course, getting banned away once again. We'll see what ends up getting banned from either side. I imagine we'd see Zeri get banned away too. I imagine it's going to be Trundle, Zillion Zeri, the Trundle being locked in. I didn't predict that. I saw it and I said it. So, meanwhile, Zeta's completely willing to just go ahead and ban the same exact 3 things, especially with the fact that if there was anything that they wanted to prioritize, they can B1 it for themselves. The Vayne getting hovered, it's not going to be a Vayne ban. Probably baiting Zeta into picking it at some point for themselves. Or baiting Zeta into picking whatever's being hovered right now. Iota probably fake thinking, or maybe genuinely thinking, maybe we want to ban Olaf, maybe we want to ban Zeri. We'll see what they end up deciding with at the end of the day, as it will be the Olaf ban, leaving that Zeri up, but also leaving Seraphine up, which is much stronger, much more broken. I want to know what you have to say about that one.
I mean, I'm definitely a big Seraphine fan. I mean, I am definitely more of a Gurf Seraphine fan, for those of you who remember that from last season. Some of you might remember that video, but our producer finally realizes what I am referencing. That has a great singing voice, let me tell you. But Iota is actually going to be picking up this Zeri, taking it away from Zeta, so there goes a little bit of synergy with the Seraphine. But Wukong is still available, and might see a Nautilus here.
Nautilus is being hovered. Might get locked in. Nautilus Zeri. I'm not a huge fan of it. That's even worse. Anyone who
That's okay.
That's like.
It's not great, and it's locked in. Hot take. They could have picked Yumi.
That's not very hot. That's pretty tame. I think Zeri Yumi would have been phenomenal right here. I think that would have been probably one of the best things you could have drafted for yourself. Blind, because essentially it is blind. Yes, Seraphine has been locked in, but you don't necessarily know where that's going. So as far as you're aware, you're just completely blinding your bot lane here. I think Zeri Yumi is a fine one. I think Braum into a team that has Seraphine so far is fine. It's just how does it pair up with the Zeri is like, it's okay. It's alright. I imagine it'll be fine. What I am worried is that Dorado Gaming Zeta just picks 3 melee champs from here, and the Braum feels like one of the most useless champions on the planet after that.
Yep, and they are going to be locking in the Hacker Room, so there is one of your melee champions, but also a really good engager. Kongi is going to be floating the Yone here. Might be interesting to see. So right now, Zeta with the Hacker Room, Seraphine, and Tristana. Honestly, Zeta could potentially pick up a Yumi here, and we could see the Yumi riding the horse into battle nonsense that we saw many seasons in a row.
Yep, as we will see, Yone does in fact get locked in, and that's an interesting one to be pairing with the Braum. We'll see how that ends up going. See what they ban away as well. Imagine they go ahead and they get rid of some mid lane options. You can also see them getting rid of some top lane options. I think that would make just as much sense. Things that they don't necessarily want to play into. But they're leaning more towards the idea that the mid laner hasn't been picked yet, which is possible. But you are assuming that it's Tristana, Seraphine bot lane, and to me that's a little strange. I do think it's actually, I think it's more likely that Tristana is mid, that the ADC and support have been picked already. I think it's way more likely that Tristana or Seraphine go mid.
I think we are going to be seeing Zeta floating a Diana ban, which honestly I respect the Diana ban, so in fact they do have a Yone. I mean, you did also already ban the Yasuo, so we're not going to be seeing Yasuo-Diana combo nonsense that is really overpowered. Iota does follow up with a Camille ban, which is 100% expected, especially after we watched Camille just absolutely ruin Gangplank's time in the top lane, which honestly probably should have been banned last round.
Yeah, the Camille was definitely a solid. Okay, that's an Ivern. Maybe they're now hovering it because they heard you talking about it. Speaking of barking up the wrong trees. That's a double pun right there. That's what that is.
No, I recognize that, but since I'd already made that pun earlier, it is irrelevant.
Well, that's why I said
speaking status.
Of. I didn't say, now that's barking. No. I was referencing your pun and expanding upon it and making it even better.
Are you for real right now?
Okay, that was awful. That was terrible. That one needs to not happen again.
Speaking of awful, this is a Volibear that got locked in, which I'm not 100% big fan of Volibear. I mean, sure, he can shut down towers, which is kind of decent, but outside of that, I don't really think he provides a lot of synergy with Iota's composition.
I don't think he needs to. He could just build full AP, take Demolish, and one-shot the tower with his ult. So, I mean, I don't see a problem here. As is that Shima locking into Kali? I think it's Yone that's actually a really good matchup. I think that's one of the better matchups you can have. I think he actually stomps that one post 6, if I'm not mistaken. Or you can go ahead and pick Taric. Go on, make a pun about Taric. Which Taric did get locked in, by the way.
Taric did get locked in. That is very... I don't really have any puns for Taric, because, you know, that's... I mean, I guess you could say for Dorado Gaming Zeta, Taric would be a diamond in the rough. Belvith cannot be picked here. This is very illegal. I do hope Iota recognizes this.
I hope they don't. They lock it in, because that would be funny. Fiora locked? Alright, I think Fiora is a good pick here. Into the Mundo specifically, I think having a tank shredder is extremely important if you're facing someone like Mundo, and Fiora is pretty bread and butter when it does come to tank shredding as a top laner. And the thing that I'm very excited about Fiora is that didn't really feel like Baldwin Down Bad had a lot of power, or Harmonica God, whichever name you want to use here. Didn't have a lot of agency in that top lane with the Gangplank, and didn't have the ability to fight in that mid to late game, but I feel like the Fiora has a lot more potential to go ahead and outplay and fight in a one-on-one situation against the Mundo specifically as well. So we'll see what Harmonica God can do on the Fiora. Now, I don't know if anyone has seen what Fudge did in the first week of LCS on Fiora. They did lose the game, and it was a 4-man Gore Drinker, but it was a pretty disgusting play. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just look up C9 Fudge Fiora goated week 1 LCS, and you'll probably find it. I haven't looked that up specifically, but I imagine that's what you'll find. You're saying Vel'Koz looks good here. Surely if you're saying Vel'Koz looks good here, you know what happened. Like, I forgot what week it was of Amateur Worlds, but there was a team that picked Vel'Koz 3 times in a row for their mid laner, because it was like left up, and he's like a Vel'Koz one trick, and they lost every single game. That was hype. No, that was a game.
I'm only going to give that person in chat a slide because they are a Ratchet and Clank fan, based on their name alone.
It was CBR. Okay, so it was against Zeta, which makes sense. Because I remember casting the game, so I knew it had to be Zeta, because that's the only one at Amateur Worlds that I actually casted. And I still, it's off topic. If they're leaving your main up 3 games in a row, don't take it the 3rd game, please. Like, this is just, if anyone ever wants to play competitive at all, and you like are one trick a champion, and if it's left, just like drop the ego, no more. It's fine. Just pick something else, and then like Dardoch, just lose in peace. Just lose in peace instead. But talking about this game a little bit more specifically, we are seeing that kind of Hecarim Seraphine combo that we've seen a lot before. I think what would make that extremely disgusting is maybe a Yuumi, but you would want to have a better ADC to pair with that. Either way, I will say that Seraphine Hecarim may not be as potent as it once was, but I'm still pretty terrified of when you also pair it with something like the Mundo in the top.
Yeah, definitely have to agree with you there. And I like I said during the draft, I would have preferred seeing a Yuumi over this Taric.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because, Yumi rides the Hecarim into battle, speed, boost, healing, throwing your Qs and everything, just, making Hecarim even more of an unstable jungler that he already is, especially into a Volibear.
Yep. Absolutely. And we will see how these matchups end up going very shortly here. But before we get on to the Rift, we are going to go ahead and throw it over to a quick break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment. Now is your time, so prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Welcome to the climb up. Reach for the summit. Visions brave, the one false, steadily the end. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your blood, go and take it. This is your moment. Take to the skies, go. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. They will remember you. It is you fight among the dead beneath the dirt. Or do you know yet? Or do you want it? And when the giants call to ask you what you're worth, do you know if we don't die? Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise,
Alrighty, everybody, we are back for game number 2 of the match between Dorado Gaming Zeta and Dorado Gaming Iota. On the blue side, we have Dorado Gaming Zeta, and on the red side, we have Dorado Gaming Iota. I am very hyped to see what these two teams have in store for us for game number 2, of course, with that Seraphine Hecarim synergy that we've seen a lot in the past, but not a lot in recent history, at least. So that'll be fun to keep our eyes on as also interested to see how bot lane goes, especially with a Tarek thrown into a miss and a Braum, two champions that we don't see a whole lot of. I feel like Braum is someone that we should be seeing a good bit more of, though.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be interesting seeing the two big muscle man characters of League of Legends in the bot lane facing off against each other. I mean, honestly, just looking at these compositions, I like Iota's composition just a little bit more, but I feel like Zeta has more synergy, as weird as that may sound.
No, I get what you mean. That makes sense. So we'll see where they end up pathing first, of course. Once again, Iota's jungler is pathing towards the top side, trying to play it for this Fiora. Meanwhile, we do see Hecarim wants to go ahead and path towards the bot side, play for his Tristana and his Tarek.
Yep, and it is going to be interesting to see just how quickly the junglers will clear. It does appear that I'm not sure if Hecarim's going to do a full clear into a gank, or he might do 3 camp into gank. We will see if he stops at his wolves or not. He does stop at his wolves, so it appears Hecarim is going to be doing a full clear instead of the 3 camp, then into a gank. So it looks like both junglers are going to be taking it a little slow this game.
And Kanji not having a good time in the level 2 there. Does get bullied out a good bit. I think he does end up hitting level 2. I don't know. I think he hit level 2 right as that was ending, though. So he ends up taking about half his HP after that trade is all said and done. Meanwhile, Braum trying to survive the level 2 from Joker. So they will get that wave push all the way under. Tarek left to get... he didn't ward deep. I think he was just kind of checking to see if Volibear had taken his Gromp, which he did. So the Tarek sees that, goes ahead and leaves with at least a little bit of information.
Yep. Unfortunately, this is just kind of a bad early game matchup for Yone, especially into Seraphine, because Seraphine has the better poke potential over the Yone. And I mean, Kongi, you even asked me in chat who to play. I told you to pick Corki, and you're like, nah, Yone's the right angle here. Like, clearly this early game is going to be very, very rough for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will see what each side can do. Firefly's in a little bit of trouble, perhaps. And that's about how you expect that matchup to go on the top side. Fireflies is not going to be the happiest of campers dealing with the Fiora. And that's why they saved, as I expected, for Harmonica God, they did save the counter pick for... or they did save the counter pick for him. And Fiora, pretty good one. As you can see so far. As now, all of a sudden, Yone in a bad spot, though, does flash at just the right time. Volibear coming down to try to answer for this one is sitting right in Pixel Brush. The E is going to come down the stun, also right on top of the Seraphine. Seraphine going to get very low. The flash forward will be found. Zohair will get that kill, tries to find the kill onto Cafe as well. That's a nice E from Kanji, but it just leads to a death. A double kill for Cafe. Here comes Fireflans here as well as Harmonica God trying to find the play. Cafe trying to bait Harmonica God into finding the Q. There it is. Will it be enough? Yes, it will. Fireflans will find the kill. Not enough, though, to find the kill. Back to Cafe, as all of a sudden will look like a pretty solid play from Iota turns into a feast for Zeta.
Yeah, Dorado Gaming Zeta just doing a really good job capitalizing on what Iota thought was going to be a nice quick little 1-0 trade, but unfortunately that's the synergy that Zeta has with each other. This is the power of the best amateur worlds team in NA.
Yep, that is true. As Firefly is just getting very low, 1 HP, but the flash under Harmonica God! Will he die? No, he won't. He just barely lives. I can't believe... I thought Harmonica God was gone. And honestly, wiping a bead of sweat off his brow going, wow, that was almost extremely int. So, getting out of that one is, gotta be pretty happy that happened.
Sorry, I got a little distracted by chat as
Um,
people are asking if Cafe is single or not.
Yeah, he was helicoptering his blades all over them, real good, real good. His sword thing that he has, his glaive.
The part niche.
Thank you. Yes, yes, his glaive. That's what he was helicoptering, as we will see in the bot lane. Maybe a play as Bruin or Kanji, just trying to look for Cafe, trying to get him off of the wall, but Cafe's gonna say, I don't care. Get away from me, as I'll just go ahead and take that that ward there either way.
Yep, we do see Joker is already level 5. Currently the highest level in the bot lane while everyone else is still sitting at 4. This is actually a nice little strategy I like whenever I do play support, is I just kind of let my ADC take like the first wave by himself so he gets the level spike before the rest of them, and then you just kind of help spiral that into an advantage.
See, a real Chad in the mid lane would Q in and then immediately ult, regardless of if it was gonna hit or not, because that's just how you play the Yone. 100% of the time, as now we might see a bit of a play brewing in the bot lane. I don't think Braum and Zera are ever actually allowed to go for this Cafe, looking for a way in. I doubt he's going to be able to find it, though. As we will see in the top lane, Fireflance has hit 6 first, but it doesn't really matter. Can't really go for those plays that fight any trades at all there, as Cafe is looking for Kanji. Kanji tries to ult out, but a nice stop there. The fear is going to stop Kanji from doing anything, as Kanji has been taken down. 4-1 lead for Dorado Gaming Zeta.
Yeah, very unfortunate there from Kanji, but a really good outplay from Cafe to intercept Kanji before he could get his ult off, and then fearing him away from the blast seed. Just doing a really good job. Like, Cafe just knows this map forwards and backwards, and it really shows on him.
Yeah, absolutely. As Harmonica God trying to fight back against Fireflance is doing a decent job of it so far. Dragon picked up for Zeta. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, will we see anything come of this one? Highly doubt it, as it will just be a little bit of brawling back and forth. The Exhaust and Ignite are up for the side of Joker and Kibbles. I doubt they're going to be able to use those summoners to their fullest potential for a good bit, as our Harmonica God not having a good time fighting against Fireflance. Fireflance wants to try to find this play, does use that ultimate, but the ultimate is going to come out of Harmonica God as well. It has to use it essentially defensively. Will be able to walk away from this one, but that is a big freeze that could be set up easily for Fireflance.
Yep, and it seems that Zohair is here to potentially capitalize on Fireflance. He does have his ult ready, so we might actually be seeing a tower shut down to dive Fireflance. But Fireflance doesn't care. Instead, it's going to be focusing primarily on Harmonica God.
Yep, he doesn't care. Still trying to freeze it right in front of Volley and the Fiora there. They do break the freeze immediately after, though. We'll go ahead, and I think they could have ended up setting it up again there. But both sides will just go ahead and back off, and everybody will start running back to the wave.
Yep, and I received word that Fiora did not have enough mana for W, which is one reason why we did not see the engage come out. Very unfortunate for the Fiora gamer.
Unfortunate indeed, as we will see Zeri be forced to kind of back off this tower for now, as they want to try to walk up into this team. It's just not the best idea for her to do so, as Joker and Kibbles are pretty good at the 2v2 if they are engaged upon. Not really good at finding the angle themselves, just because of the champions that they're playing, not because of the players themselves. As the W does hit, Kibbles is not quite chunking as much as you want it to yet, but it will come with time, as Hecarim spots out that ward. We'll see it and get on out of there, knowing that he's just wasting his time by staying any longer than that.
Yeah, Harmonica God's still doing his best to poke out Fireflance here, and Fireflance is doing a good job making sure that Fiora's passive, she can't really connect with those vital points.
Absolutely, as we will see Harmonica God getting hit up here. Fireflance trying to find the kill. Harmonica God in a bad situation, does use that ultimate defensively, just not defensively enough. Might be able to find the heal, and if he does, could be the play, but Fireflance just stat checks that Fiora, and it's not even close. We will see maybe a play on the bot side. Volibear is coming in for a gank. Will it be enough, though? They are spotted out on the ward. So they know now that they can't really go for it. Will go ahead and clear that last minion and start walking off after that.
Yep, and as I take a quick look over in chat, I do see the mid laner for Iota Kongi is typing in chat. Sir, you have a game to focus on. This is not time to be smacking talk.
Yeah, so don't be in Twitch chat. That's actually not good, because that means you could be on chat, which obviously ghosting with a 3-minute delay, it doesn't matter anyway. Still shouldn't be in the chat, so highly recommend that you aren't in there. Not because we're gonna snitch, but because refs might get a little angry with you. I don't think it's that big of an issue, but staff might. Yeah. They might get a little upsetty, as now Kanji gonna go in onto the Seraphine, trying to find the play, as now Kanji will be not really able to do much. As what will they be able to do? Not anything after that, as let's see. Will Harmonica God go down is the question. Nope, we'll be just fine, but he won't be able to break that freeze, which is probably a bigger issue.
Yep, unfortunately the freeze is broken, which is not really what they want to happen. Because, you know, if you get a nice freeze on the wave, you kind of control the wave from that point on. We are only about 12 minutes into the game. The kills are racking up a lot faster than they did in game 1.
For sure, as Harmonica God is in some trouble, going to get hit up by Fireflans. Fireflans is just smacking away at Harmonica God. Harmonica God trying to get out of there. One more Q would do it, or just an auto. Who cares? Fireflans just walking all over the Fiora. Counter pick be damned. It just doesn't matter. When you have a Steel Caps, a Bramble Vest, and a Sunfire, or a Bomby Cinders, excuse me, it does make the game a little bit harder to play.
Yep, and as we do see Zeri just doing a bit of wave clearing, she does currently have about a 15 CS lead over the Tristana, but unfortunately, the bot lane is still zeros across the board. Meanwhile, the other 3 roles have kind of been doing all the fighting this game.
Absolutely, as Kanji goes in, trying to find the play, we'll go ahead and snap right on back, and we'll be A-okay. Now
Yep,
we will...
and we do have the Cloud Dragon up, which it appears that Cafe is going to start.
Yep, should have no trouble getting this one.
Yep, doesn't look like there's going to be any contention from Iota. That is going to be a quick Dragon take. We are going to be having the Mountain Soul this game.
Yep, as we'll see Kanji go on in onto the Seraphine. Does miss the ability onto Shima. Shima trying to do what he can to survive. Does a good job of doing so. Kanji will be able to go in for the kill once more. Does have that ultimate available if he wants to go ahead and try to dive this one. Is possible. But I doubt it's going to end up happening, as now we're going to see Fireflans looking for the kill onto Harmonic God. Or never mind, they're going in onto Kanji. Kanji going to get hit up a little bit. The fear is there. As now Kanji, will he be able to get away? It doesn't look like... Maybe he actually will, I guess. The Ignite wasn't taken down. Meanwhile, on the top side, though... Oh, bot side. Never mind. We want to look towards bot side. That's where the action is. Never mind. It's top side yet again. Harmonic God getting hit up. Will Fireflans be able to find the kill? He doesn't want to risk diving any further with Volibear not on his map. Could be anywhere, and he could get killed for it. So yeah, Lex not to go for it. On the bot side, see what they're able to do. Nice Q hits onto Joker. There's a lot of action, a lot of things happening for no bloodshed.
Yep, just kind of your standard interaction between Dorado, especially after game 1. They just kind of poke at each other, then walk away. Unless you're in the top lane, because once again, it's just Fireflans. Like, honestly, let's just rename top lane to Fireflans lane at this point.
As we will see what Harmonica God can do about Fireflans being here. Not a whole lot without Volibear, hence why Volibear is being brought up to the top side, but Volibear is instead going towards the mid lane. And we'll see what ends up happening with the side of Iota trying to crawl their way back into this game. I'm wondering if it's possible for them to do it. What do you think that Iota have to do in order to win this game?
I think Iota would definitely have to focus up a little bit, because I feel like they're just very unorganized. I feel like Zohair is actually going to have to maybe pay a decent visit to top lane and not just show up, unfreeze a wave, and go, all right, you're good to go.
As Harmonica God is in some trouble trying to dare to exist in top lane, getting dove now, trying to find the play back onto Fireflans. Maybe Fireflans can draw him out at best. Harmonica God feels like he's in a good position now, but without ult, it's going to be a little harder to survive, especially if these Qs find their mark, but they will not, as now Kanji going in onto Cafe. Cafe, will he be able to find the play with Tark? Tark is ulting, as now Kanji is in a very bad spot. He's going to ult right in onto Shima, trying to find the kill, but the shields are just too much. Kanji's going to go down. Zohair, will he find the kill? He does get charmed up. He's just standing there, plays a double kill for the side of the Hecarim, and Fireflans finds a solo bolo in the top lane. Joker doing whatever he wants. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Joker, or Arch rather, was looking for an angle there, but he knows it's just a little too dangerous to try to go for anything, as the top lane tower will be taken. Mid lane tower should get taken as well. There it goes. No dragon to be taken, but if there was one to be taken, it would have been taken for sure. I've taken a lot, as Joker is going to be in a bad situation, might be looking for the kill there, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, as they should get away. The stun does come through, but Kibbles should be just fine. Anyway, yep, Joker and Kibbles should be allowed to just walk away from this one.
Yep, and I am receiving word that we have a score update from the other side of the bracket between the Absolute Esports and No Org Frost. It does appear Absolute Esport has taken that series 3-0, so No Org Frost has been eliminated. And Absolute Esports in a dominating fashion. They actually, oh my god, Game 2 was only 22 minutes long.
I'm pretty sure they started at 7:30, hence why they would have they would have finished a little bit earlier. But still, that's a 3-0 before we're done with Game 2. And they only started 30 minutes. Stream also takes a while to set up, right? And so we started like a few minutes later, and of course, like the teams need more time between games because we need more time between games because we're on a delay. So there's also that, but still only 30 minutes earlier. It's a 3-0 sweep. That's still pretty fast for that series to be. So congratulations either way to Absolute for winning that one. Zohair could be in some trouble focusing back on the game that we are watching currently. Kanji could be in some trouble as well. Here comes Fireflans trying to find the play. He does Q away. It does get the ult up, but it goes right through Fireflans. That means that you aren't going anywhere, Kanji. Kanji trying to get out of there. The Immortal Shield, though, saving him for now. Gets away from the stun for now. Uses that E to Q to try to get away as well. So much for so little. Zohair does get charmed up. What a play from the Seraphine, as that's going to be a play. A great charm from the the mid laner of Dorado Gaming, Zeta. As will they be able to do anything more than that? Try to find anything else, as now that's going to be the mid lane tower taken. Will they be able to take the next one as well? Fireflans walking in, trying to find something, anything. Doubt that's going to be the case, though. The Rift Herald will fire off, find its mark now. The next inhibitor should go down. There it is, as it's almost dead, but will not quite be taken, as they will go ahead and just walk all the way to the dragon and should be able to take their third one of the game. Dorado Gaming Zeta absolutely dominating game number 2.
Yeah, this definitely isn't as close as Game 1 was. Maybe Zeta was putting on a show for us, you know, trying to let us think maybe Iota had a chance, but Zeta is definitely, as you said, definitely showing that this is their game. For Game 1. For Game 2.
For sure. Dorado Gaming Zeta was expected to win this one. We expected them to win the series in a convincing fashion. Oh, of course, they still have another one to play after this one. But it's looking a little hard after this one to try to. I would argue that Dorado Gaming Zeta's comp isn't quite as good as Dorado Gaming Iota's. I still think this game is winnable for Dorado Gaming Iota. It's just going to be, you just kind of have to buckle down and try to play safe, and it just doesn't seem like anyone's really interested in doing that. Just look at where everyone's standing right now. Fiora is super far up, could be collapsed upon. Yes, you do have your jungler here, but everybody's coming to kill you, and playing GP, playing Fiora, the outcome should be exactly the same, and here comes Harmonica God's death, as they just want to go ahead and find this one. As you could say, oh, we'll just, if you're the side of Iota, we'll just go and make a play on bot side. There's nothing to get besides a tower, and the Baron is what's up next. and Harmonica God is just getting toyed with. Harmonica God should be surviving, just queuing all over the place. Finally, Cafe decides to end his misery, finds that kill, as Baron should be the next target for the side of Dorado Gaming Zeta.
Yep, Dorado Gaming Zeta was just playing with their food in the top lane. And especially now since they saw that, I mean, they do see that Kongi is in the bot lane, they see that this is actually going to be a free Baron for them because Fireflans, as Mundo, can just really zone off this Volibear, the Zeri, and a couple of, basically anyone else who shows up at this point.
Yep, so Hare trying to get to the pit, but he's just not allowed to. Fireflans goes where he pleases on this Mundo, trying to find even the kill onto Zohair, but a nice dodge away from that cleaver will be enough. Meanwhile, we see the Yone on the bot side of the map going to go ahead and grab that tower, zooming in right on him. I think that's a worth play. There's no way you're going to be able to get that Baron. Your top laner kind of got caught out, so you're going to go ahead and try to find at least something for your troubles before you go ahead and back to base.
See, the good thing is, at least you took the tower, so if the game were to end now, you can at least say, yes, we took a tower, unlike some of those games where you don't even take a tower. And unfortunately, we haven't seen a perfect game from anyone in the Victoris League, where one team takes no towers, no kills, or objectives. So luckily, we haven't seen any of those yet this season, or at least at all in the Victoris League.
Yeah, Cafe wants to go in, finds the kill onto Zohair with the help of that Tristana, who secures the kill. Meanwhile, Yone wants to go in, try to find the play. The ultimate is available, I believe. That's a nice stun, though. The Q, there it is. But everything just missing from the Yone. Meanwhile, now they're going all the way back in. Braum is going to go down. Will they be able to find the kill onto Kanji next? I believe so, unless he Qs on out of there, getting very safe. But now Zeri trying to find the plays. Joker going to hop on back in. Kanji is able to eat right on back out. Snaps back. Kibbles trying to find the plays, as it doesn't matter if they're fighting in between two towers. They can do whatever the hell they want. This tower on the bot side should be up next once the wave comes in. Should be able to take that one pretty easily. Even Mundo could have just walked in. They have so much healing from the Seraphine, it just does not matter. They're moving on to the next turret as well. Should be able to take that one, as they could even go for the inhibitor overstay. I wouldn't even consider it overstaying. I don't even think they realistically have to leave this base. I think they could see to this with Baron. I think they could honestly end the game right here, right now. I don't think that the other side, I don't think Iota is nearly strong enough to stop them. The Fiora is backing to try to do something. We'll see if it's enough. That's going to be a nice route. They're going to go in, try to find the play onto Arch. Arch is going to just barely maybe get away, but Fireflans finds the flash, finds the angle. Kanji, a three-man charm from Shima, as Iota will just start crumbling at the seams. Harmonic God trying to find the play. Maybe the Volibear will be allowed to live. The ultimate just barely not killing that Volibear. Harmonic God has to flash, but flashes right to her death there as the Nexus starts getting hit up. Only one kill allowed for Dorado Gaming Iota, as Dorado Gaming Zeta take game number 2.
Yeah, this is definitely a lot more of a one-sided match that we predicted we were going to see. Dorado Gaming Zeta currently on its way to 3-0 Dorado Gaming Iota. This is definitely, like, game 1 was pretty close. It could have gone either way, and we are now looking at potentially a landslide of a match.
Yeah, could be almost as fast of a 3-0 as the other one between, I believe, is Absolute that you said, and No Orc Frost, I believe is their name. But
Yes.
before we see if it's even a 3-0, we gotta get into the drafted game number 3. And before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and throw it to a short break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
They say it started like a wildfire. It's kind of funny that you had me written off dead. Now we're coming for the empire. So now you love me, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Go tell and watch me, keep your eyes on me. I caught you sleeping before, now I'm in your head. You can't close it, the doors are open. Nah, you ain't seen nothing yet. They say it's starting like a wildfire. I feel it spreading in a new way, but right now, change the game, build an empire. If you're ready, we can start it up. We can spark this right now.
I hear the roar of the wildfire. It makes me wanna aim higher. We have to take control. I'm always chasing the path I'm facing, ignites the fighter. Time to take what's yours. Stand and watch us, keep your eyes on us. Always leaving our mark, living in your head. Can't contain us, there's no escaping. Now you ain't seen nothing yet. They say it's starting like a wildfire. I feel it spreading in a new way, but right now, change the game, build an empire. If you're ready, we can spark it up. We can spark this right now.
We're just getting started. Fire in the blood, but we're still cold-hearted. Eyes on the prize, do what we gotta do to secure our rise. Like pioneers with no fear, never back down, this our frontier. Ash on the path, don't get too near. Blazing a trail, never adhere. Yeah, the road we chose is only built for the pros, and we can walk through the highs and the lows, lunges and throws. Got the crown, never letting it go. Royalty, you ain't getting the throne. Leaders of a new empire, clawed our way up from the muck and the mire. Nothing will take from us all these desires. We're at the summit, we're still going higher. We are the crucible, we are the fire.
Like a wildfire. I feel it spreading in a new way, but right now, change the game, build an empire. If you're ready, we can spark it up. We can spark. They say it's starting like a wildfire. I feel it spreading in a new way, but right now, change the game, build an empire. If you're ready, we can spark it up. We can spark this right now.
You ain't seen nothing, you ain't seen nothing yet.
We at the top again, now what? We lay the crown, but count us higher than a mountain. And we be up here for the long run, strap in for a long one. We got everybody on one. Now you coming at the king, so you better not miss. And we only get stronger with everything I carry up on my back. You should paint it up with a target. Why would you dare me to do it again? Come get your spoiler, but we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you coming on, name you ought to know by now that we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, maybe you wonder what your future's gonna be, but I got it all locked up. Take a lap now, don't be mad now. Run it back, run it back. I got bodies lining up, think you're dreaming of greatness. Send you back home, let you wake up.
Why would you dare me to do it again? Come and get your sport out the head. We're taking over. We're taking over.
Well, that was a game too. I don't think there's much use in relitigating the particulars of it because we just came in off a banger song, and it prompted some discussion here on the desk about what the most banger world song is, and I'm sure
It's
chat
so
wants to
easy.
get their opinions on.
It's like not
yeah.
it's not a question.
Well, there were the particulars of the discussion weren't so much what the best one is, because I think we all sort of agree it's Rise, right?
Yes, it's not
Wrong,
close,
man.
but like
Yeah.
we don't have to
for
include the
me-
live version.
For,
We don't have to
yeah,
include live.
as long as it's not the live version
Which
that they did.
we all know the live version was bad because he was like drunk or something.
Sure.
Like, it was
I would
just really
say
bad.
I would say it's like tied for first with me because I think the
Uh-huh.
other one is Phoenix.
Well, now
Let me tell you
I'm
how
just
like
learning
okay
how many of
Phoenix
these
is.
world songs apparently I don't know, because again, I can't hear Phoenix in my head when I hear
Well, that was
Fly,
the
Phoenix fly.
that's it,
Oh,
that's
right.
the-
Was that the year FPX won?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fucking
Scripted.
That's
Oh!
freaking
Scripted.
sick. That's freaking sick, is what I said.
Scripted.
Yeah, no, that's a sick song. Sick song.
Yo.
We love Rise. We love Takeover.
No.
Burn It
Hear
All
me.
Down was mid.
No, you're so wrong. Burn It All Down was like that was the best one since Rise.
Oh no,
Easily.
Victoris GG's fighting me. Ah!
Fine.
I've been
Not
found out,
not for
boys.
the no word that was said, but because you said that Burn It All Down is mid.
It is mid, bro.
Oh,
Our producer is screaming. You can't hear me. He's like, no,
that's all.
it is, and
No,
I agree
no.
with Saul.
Okay. If Burn It All Down is mid, then Legends Never Die is actually just dog, and not like
Legends
Dorado
Never
Gaming
Die is one
Data,
of the
more like
best
Dorado Gaming
ones.
Iota. That's
Oh
how
my
bad
goodness.
that Legends Never Die is. Legends Never Die as like a joke is awesome. Yeah, sure. That it's like hype, but as a song, if I were to listen to it, I'd be like, this is straight garbage. This is
Okay.
hot
Okay.
trash.
So
man.
Kibbles is in chat just to say Ignite. It's the bestest ever in the whole wide world. You're banned.
I can
Legends-
respect that opinion because it's not Legends Never Die.
is a quintessential sports anthem. It's like
No.
like what more do you want out of a sports anthem? If they played that at
Rise?
a live event, it would be. I mean, Rise is. I will say Rise is the best one, but Legends Never Die.
Not the live
Y'all
version.
put-
Legends Never
y'all
Die is
putting
not good.
disrespect on it. Ignite is actually good. I don't know about that Survivor 67. I don't know. Again, my comment on Ignite was I don't remember what Ignite sounds like, and then Kongman started going like doopy 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 doo
Okay,
or
okay.
whatever, and I was like, I
Now
don't know what that is.
Someone's mentioning Awaken, and we have to mention it because that's not a world song, but Awaken's fire.
Oh, I love
Awaken
I-
is a good one. Awaken's a
Okay.
really good one.
Mhm.
So if we're talking like all the cinematics, I'd say Awaken is like top 3.
The best song, and it's not even close.
KDA
is
Pop Stars.
no Warriors, but the Warriors that is like slowed down. Yes, the new version, the new.
Oh,
version.
the
I forgot which
what were
one
they
it
called?
was.
Oh, two-way. Yeah, two-way.
I will
Now,
say
listen.
I really dig Takeover's music video, like
Listen.
one of the best ones.
The best music video. No, the best music video is "Burn It All Down." That one. That one
No.
That
is,
one's sick too.
no,
is
I'm
the
just
best
saying,
one.
like
No,
all
it's
the
not close.
references.
Listen,
All
My-
the references to the history, we're all talking over each other, even our producer. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
I have no personal bias here, but KDA Pop Stars is clearly the best. Not me flashing the best artwork, the
Oh,
best
is that-
version of Akali.
Katie Pop
Is
Stars
that your
like
profile
dated,
picture on
bro.
Discord right now as well?
Yes, it is. I am
That's
the
wonderful.
Akali word I can't say on Twitch.
Stan. We'll go
See,
with
There you go.
someone's telling us that there was a game that just happened. Was there? Was there a
Was
game?
there really?
Are we like 100% sure there was a game?
I wouldn't call that a game. I'd call that a slaughter.
I'd call it there was someone typing in chat the entire time. I'd call it apparently the mid laner's not in lobby.
call that, or rather, call a dog catcher. Somebody's going to the pound to get euthanized after that game number 2. That was, that's all I have to say on it. But yeah, going back to World Songs. No, Takeover's music video is great because you have all these great references to so many great players. You see everybody get their due. It's great. There's an I'm a Cutie Pie reference, which I am always a fan of in that video, as subtle as it is. So, you know, good stuff. You get a little raise your dongers action in that music video. I will say, I'm not a fan of Burn It All Down the song, but the video is hype for that one. The animation is sick.
No, Burn It All Down, if you like watch it, like towards the end, I don't know why, but it gave me like Code Lyoko vibes. You know what I mean? Like at the very end,
Yo,
where it gets to
yeah.
like 3D. Yeah,
Yep,
you know
yep.
what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay. So this is my hot take. Okay, so like the Takeover song is good. The music video for Takeover was just how much sponsorship can we cram in one video?
Sponsorship? What kind of? I guess there was Secret Lab chairs in it, wasn't there?
There's Secret Lab chairs. There's Alienware. There's Mastercard. Like if you like watch like each frame, there's just ads everywhere.
Okay,
like
I
each
want you to.
person that the guy is fighting is somewhere in that frame where he's fighting is the representation team logo from the person.
Yeah,
he's
but
fighting.
Okay, but
that's
that-
like
but that's-
the history of the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no,
game.
I
cool.
respect that, but like the whole like intro and then the posting is just Mastercard.
Okay, but
Alienware,
I want you to think.
Secretware.
I need you to think about it like this. Think about how much went into making Arcane, and then think about where they were supposed to get the money for their like music videos. Clearly, they needed some sponsor. I mean, they took an FTX sponsorship and the LCS for that. They were like desperate for money.
Then they had to pay
On
Imagine
that
Dragon.
note, boys, I do believe we are ready for what could very well be our decisive game of this series. We will touch briefly on the series at hand. It's the 2-0 advantage for Zeta. We all expected the 3-0. Real quick, keep the takes short. Anything Iota can do to get themselves at least a game win in this series? Starting with you, Kongman, real quick.
Alright, we'll take a quick look at chat. It appears everyone is spamming the Among Us emoji, and even Kibbles and Bits in the Twitch chat is asking if we can settle game point with Iota versus Zeta in a Fall Guys matchup.
Oh no.
You know, Among Us is 10 man.
Among Us 10 man is what our producer is
that's-
suggesting.
that
That
would
is
be
that is
pretty hype.
Iota's key to victory. Is that they can
Oh.
reverse
That's
sweep
the
it
only
Among
way.
Us.
Yes, yes.
All right, that's Kongman's idea for how Iota gets the series victory here. Reverse sweep through Among Us. Shogun, any thoughts?
Just let's have a Kale-less game.
A Kale-less
yeah.
game.
Oh yeah, Kale-less game. Kale-less series, baby. Let's go.
We love to not see Kale if it does, you know, if it doesn't do anything. Just waiting on that final confirmation the draft is actually about to start. I'm once again hearing it's almost ready, so we'll
Classic.
we'll keep you guys here with. Oh, never mind, it's going. Adios.
Get baited.
Yeah, baited,
Hey.
idiot.
Yeah, they knew you were going to be talking more about
Alrighty.
world songs.
Yep, here we go, getting right into the draft as Trundle will be immediately taken off the table, probably going to go with very similar bans to what they did before, as meanwhile Zeta will go ahead and probably ban the Yasuo once again. Yep,
There it is.
getting rid of that one immediately.
Probably see Karthus ban next for the site is Zeta. Because I sense a pattern with Zeta bans.
I would imagine that they just go ahead and ban. Yep, there's the Seraphine. As you were talking about with Zeta, probably gonna ban away that same exact Karthus. There it is. As the Seraphine, I think is a pretty solid ban to get rid of too. And if you're on blue side, you could go ahead and first pick something that you might have been worried about Zeta getting last time. Probably gonna go ahead and ban either the Zillion, they go ahead and get rid of Tarek. So Zillion's still on the table, but Tarek does a very similar thing to what Zillion does. He doesn't like res people, but he does make it so that you can't really hit people. So pretty solid team fighting ability that makes the game feel rather impossible to play. As now the Lilia is taken off the table as well. The same exact 3 bans, all 3 games so far from Zeta. As Zaya will be B1'd by Iota. As now we'll see if Zeta are kind of, maybe baited into picking the Rakan away, but with the Olaf up, they'll probably just go ahead and lock that one in, or at least they're thinking about wanting to do that for Fireflies and Cafe. thinking about how strong that champion is or how good they can perform on that champion, would be nice to go ahead and seal that one.
Sorry, I looked over at chat and now Victoris is putting the Among Us emoji in
Oh
chat.
no.
So it appears that this org is now sus, and meanwhile we were distracted because Fireflans is locked in the Draven.
Oh! Oh! No, not that one. Not that.
Ivern!
Oh my god! No! It's so boring. It's just so boring. Now, okay. It's okay because they locked in Draven, which is not boring. So that's pretty hype. And there's like the smallest chance that is Draven top. And as long as there's a chance that it's Draven top, this is even more hype. Now, of course, Iota is just going to go ahead and lock in Rakan. They were giving it to them on a silver platter. However, if I'm Zeta, I'm kind of thinking, yeah, go ahead and pick Rakan. In what universe are you ever going to touch a Draven if he has E?
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
We are actually be seeing the Nocturne
Okay, well.
locked in for Iota. I do know that Nocturne is mostly primarily played in the jungle. Sometimes you can see a mid lane. It's not often, but he does make an appearance there once in a while. We are going to be seeing Olaf. So right now we have 2
Dude.
flex picks for the side of Zeta. Now Zeta, lock in the Shyvana. Just get 3 jungler rotations. Really flex on him.
I think it was insanely bold to. I don't know about this. This is worrying because now I feel like you're either 100% sending your Olaf top lane or you're sending your Ivern to mid, and I don't think there's. I think those are the only 2 real options, because if your Ivern goes mid, you can go ahead and put the Olaf into the jungle. But if Olaf goes top, you could still put the Ivern into jungle. So, having that flex, as you said, making it pretty interesting to deal with there. I don't know how to feel about the Camille ban. I actually think a Shen ban would have been interesting for the side of Iota, or sorry, for Zeta, to go ahead and stop them from having so much pressure as that's. Oh my god, a Fireflame's Darius. It's just Exodia.
No, do
Or
it.
he could
Give him the Darius.
If he picks Darius, the game is actually just over, and there's like they're playing the Super Noxian brothers.
Show
the
us
Super Inting
the
Ionian brothers.
Firelands Darius. We already saw him play Mundo. He already dominated. Not Poppy. No, we.
Okay, so like that's also boring, but I mean it's really good into Rakan, so it's not a bad pick, but our producer just said Dorado Gaming Beta, which like normally I would never agree with, but come on guys, Ivern, Poppy, and then you're pairing that with Olaf and Draven. It's
No, if
it's
we
just
say
so
like
sad.
if we say like our host does, we have Ivern and Poopy.
That's true. That's how we would pronounce both those champions' names. As the Vladimir has been locked in, we'll see what they go ahead and pair their team off with. For I imagine it's going to be the Shen. Yeah, I think Shen's a really good option. I think you have a lot of map pressure. But you are getting countered already, but you are picking yourself into a fairly, annoying matchup in the Poppy, because you should never realistically be able to get your taunts off, and Poppy just does so much to deal with this team composition. The Orianna being locked in by Shima would be locking it. Oh,
Is this Ivern support?
Oh god.
Orianna support?
No.
Pull
Surely
him
it
in
would
for
be...
Draven?
Okay. It could be Poppy support.
Get the Poopy Draven bot lane.
Poppy Draven surely is better than Draven Ivern, right?
I mean, Ivern
Okay.
can get some good roots.
Someone in chat said
shield.
Poppy support. I believe guy in chat. I think that's way better than Ivern support. I think that'd be terrible. I think Poppy support's
See,
10 times better.
unlike in Overwatch, we can't really call these guys plat chat because, unfortunately, as we know, everyone in chat for League is silver or lower.
I'm sure that's not true. Everybody, attempt to send your O.GG in the chat and see what happens. Watch.
I mean, to be fair,
It'll
we
be
are
smoke
seeing.
out of the sky.
I mean, to be fair, we have been seeing Koggy typing a lot in chat, so clearly
Yeah,
he
but
is.
you can't.
I mean, clearly he is the silver player
links.
out here.
Okay, you know what? You can 1v1 him, and I'll let that speak for itself. Because even though he's been, you know, a
You know,
little,
the mid laner versus the jungler. 1v1 would
yeah,
be pretty interesting.
yeah. You know, junglers actually are probably the worst role at 1v1s,
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
including and, like this was at like All Stars back when they were doing like the 1v1 tournament, and like junglers were just like they were either like trolling or like they were just getting absolutely murdered. And it was all about mid laners and ADCs. Those were like the only ones that were doing like really, really well at All Stars.
Someone in chat said Olaf support.
See, that'd be hype. I'd appreciate that. We'll see shortly where each team kind of gets slotted in once they go through the client. I'm sure our producer will have a solid idea there. But for now, we're still not 100% sure. But I mean, we can all have an idea that it's probably gonna be Olaf top, Ivern jungle, Orianna mid, Draven ADC, and Poppy support. That just makes the most sense, as everybody has been pointing out so far. But what do you think? Do you think anything might be a little more likely, or do you think that's pretty much right on the money?
I'm pretty sure you're right on the money, but I could also see Orianna support coming out here to synergize with the Draven because she can manipulate where the enemy is. Draven can R them, he can E them, get a nice lot of combos. Especially like if you stun lock them into one position with Orianna, then Draven gets more free stacks, and then the League of Draven just becomes even more and more prideful as Draven is.
That'd be interesting. That'd be pretty hype. Again, I do doubt that is going to be the case, unfortunately. But would still be hype. But let's just imagine we could talk about a lane that should be pretty locked in, set in stone. In Orianna Vladimir, I think that's probably the most likely matchup that we're going to see 100%. So both of these champions do scale a little bit. They don't do a whole lot of damage early. I want to say Orianna has a slight edge in the early game, while Vlad just has the sustain, to where it doesn't quite matter. And Orianna doesn't have the damage to really have the kill threat on Vladimir. Especially even when they both hit 6, Vladimir can just outplay the ultimate, the shockwave from Orianna, and just go ahead and pull away. So, do you have any other thoughts on the mid lane matchup?
I mean, yeah, it is definitely going to be interesting, the Vladimir versus Orianna. I mean, the big thing, I guess, is going to be, can Shen actually roam and be a river Shen? As we see most Shens tend to be, but unfortunately, as we've seen, their top laner has kind of been stuck playing Respawn Simulator for the past couple games. So it is going to be interesting to see if this Shen can potentially be a river Shen and help mid lane. But all in all, I really feel like Orianna just wins this matchup.
Now, I need to correct your league knowledge on what River Shen is. You know, River Shen was like someone who didn't play top, didn't play jungle. He just went into the river the entire game.
Oh, I know.
Okay, just making sure.
No, I understand River Shen.
All right.
Because honestly, like, let's be real here. If he is not winning top lane, like, at all, like, let's see here. Game 1, he went 0-9. And then game 2, he went 0-6. He has yet to get a kill in the top lane. I think he should just abandon top lane altogether and just be the river Shen.
I agree. Absolutely. If that's what it comes down to. But as we can see, our initial assessments of where everybody's going are fairly correct here, with Olaf being in the top lane, Ivern in the jungle, Orianna mid, Draven ADC, and the Poppy in support. So we can go ahead and talk about the bot lane a little bit more now. I'm pretty sure Poppy helps Draven hard win this matchup against Rakan. I don't think Rakan can ever engage without just getting absolutely slaughtered. I think even if he just wants to look for a WQ real quick, he still has a hard time of doing even that. And he has a hard time of, leaving that play.
Yeah, I mean, sure, like, for Iota, Rakan's going to have that bigger, like, dash range with his E. Ooh boy, just because he's playing with a Xayah, so maybe he can get a nice little spicy combo play there. But unfortunately, since there's a Poppy, as soon as Poppy recognizes that Rakan is ulting because he makes that loud noise. He does that weird jump in the air. Puppy's just gonna ult Rakan like across the map, and then the Rakan ult's gonna be absolutely useless. And then he's just gonna sit there and go, "Well, I do nothing."
Well, speaking of sitting there, I hope everybody else is just gonna sit there and wait while we go ahead and throw this over to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to game number 3. Almost at 1. Game number 3
Oh.
of the series. If only. If
The
only.
series is reset.
Game number 3 of the series between Dorado Gaming Iota and Dorado Gaming Zeta. It appears we're missing a Vladimir. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why he's sitting in base. He's coming back now. He is there he goes. They could have paused. I don't know why they didn't pause, but luckily for Iota, that Zeta don't really go for an invade here because that could have been a little dicey. Just a tad. We will
Yep,
see.
could have been a little dicey and maybe even cause for a remake, which, as we know, remakes are just a mess and a half.
Too much
Because, you know,
time.
if yeah, one, it takes too much time. Two, if you invade, then you have to remake. You can either attempt to invade again, but the team will be prepared for it, or you just 5 point, and then your successful invade is no longer there anymore.
As Poppy is looking to get into this bush, could be in some trouble all of a sudden, and being taken down to about half HP, even lower than that, is going to make this lane so much harder than it otherwise would have been. Yes, Zyra Khan have a hard time of getting in onto Poppy, but level 1, it's a lot different at that point. Now they're going to go ahead and try to do their best to push for the level 2 before Poppy and Draven can hit it.
Yep, definitely going to be interesting. Kind of sucks that Kibbles took a big chunk of his health there. Trying to face check a bush instead of going for the early ward placement that some support players do. And we already see Orianna's already hit level 2 before this Vladimir, so Orianna is going to definitely be dominating this lane just a little bit easier this game.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see what Fireflies can do about Harmonica God trying to find the plays, but just not enough damage quite yet. Not going to have a whole lot of it till later on, especially since the Shen is going to be a good bit more takers. Now, Fireflies is actually losing the 1v1. All it takes is the Ghost, the Flash. Not quite there yet. Fireflies is running away as fast as he possibly can, but when the E comes back up, Fireflies should be dead. Orianna starting to walk up now. Harmonica got a bad spot all of a sudden and could be turned upon immediately. Harmonica God trying to get out of there. Fireflies gonna pick up the axe, gonna hit yet another axe. Harmonica God, what a terrible day for rain in the top lane as Shen's gonna go down. Just saw red, should have given up on the play, but he just didn't want to. I don't know if he even had E. If he doesn't have E, just leave. It's not doable. Vlad not walking up was going to hurt as well. Could have also been a reason that goes bad. So, just an unlucky situation for Shen.
Listen, I had the fireworks ready for Harmonica God's first kill this series. And, well, he kind of threw that away.
Yep, just a tad is now Vladimir trying to look for a roam down towards the bot side of the map. Joker gonna get rooted up, could be in a bad spot, does cleanse so he can get on out of there, and will just run away, electing to also use his flash. Sorry, I guess missed the flash right there, helps him get away. So Harmonica God gonna be trying to 1v1 from a kill down now. Not gonna be an easy task at all.
Definitely have to agree there. And one thing I want to point out is this Ivern rune choice. So Ivern really only has two. Oh, hang on, there's actually a fight going on. It seems Fireflame is going to have to back away from Harmonica God. But Harmonica God is actually looking to re-engage here. Fireflame's doing a bit of poke damage.
As now Cafe's going to get feared up, trying to find the play onto Zohair, as now Ivern's not really allowed to fight these too much. A nice stun on to the Rakan. Rakan is not allowed to leave, and that's what I was talking about before the game started. You cannot go in on a Poppy, because you will not be allowed to leave the Poppy.
Yep, and so top lane is kind of at a stalemate. So going back to this Ivern rune, before I was rudely interrupted before two fights breaking out. And, well, here we go once again. There's another fight up in the top lane.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
Alright, so with Ivern, you only really have two rune choices. You have Guardian if you want to go like Super Shield, and then you have Summon Area if you want to be more of a healing path. So it seems like Cafe's opting more for the shielding option than the healing option on this Ivern, which honestly we don't really see a lot of shielding Ivern as much anymore. I actually have to look back at the patch notes for Ivern. Did they fix his E again? They did. They rebuffed his E, so I guess I overlooked that. So yes, the Guardian is actually a decent pickup here for the rune choice.
Looking for a play on to this Draven, but guess what? Kibbles is going to make that so hard to accomplish. As now Zohair going to take a couple tower shots, getting hit by these axes. A nice root down onto Joker, though, keeping him from going any further up. Harmonica in a bad spot. Remember, he doesn't have that Ghost. He doesn't have that flash from earlier. Harmonica gonna go down to Fireflans, who goes up 2-0 in the top lane. Shen having a terrible time up there. As now a great play on to the Rakan, just getting absolutely dumpstered. The Flash E does not find any damage, any root. as the Nocturne going to look for an angle to come in here. Kibbles is just taunting away as all the other games are so close, so calculated, and this one is just a slobber knocker of a game going back and forth, or not even back and forth, but more like fourth and fourth onto Iota. Joker gonna go down though. Maybe there's the back as Arch is gonna find himself a double kill down in the bot lane.
Yeah, Arch doing a really good job there with Zohair to pick up that double kill. Basically, that was really just Zohair locking down Joker, and then Kibble's doing his best to try and run an interception. But unfortunately, Poppy's not quite at 6 yet, so it's kind of hard to really separate out that bot lane interaction.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if Kongi can try to find anything in this mid lane. Shima doesn't have any mana, could be in some trouble. Heal is going to come through from Kongi. But we'll see. That ultimate being down for the Vladimir means that the Orianna should be just fine, but guess who might not be just fine? Harmonica God does have a large wave to play with, but the axes that'll start coming through from Firefly's going to make it very hard for Harmonica God to operate. Even still, if he's not under his tower, he is in some trouble. Now, if the Olaf does go under tower, it could get a little bit dicey, but with Ragnarok available, should be even fine if the Shen is low enough for the Olaf to look for a dive, but you also got to remember that the auto attack shield is there for the Shen, so gotta be absolutely 100% sure that you can find that plays. That's going to be a nice ultimate from the Nocturne, but the Poppy shield does not block anything that is unstoppable. Gotta remember that. As a result, the Nocturne, it still gets onto the ADC, but it's just not enough to find a kill.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting on the side of Zohair. I did enjoy him ulting in to try and get Joker out, but honestly, I feel like in this scenario, you want to separate Kibbles instead of Joker, because I feel like Kibbles is the easier target to kill, and also if you put the support behind in this bot lane matchup, it is actually really devastating.
Yeah, absolutely. As we will see what they can do now, as Kibbles could be in a bad situation. Joker trying to run away, does get knocked up into the air and taken down. Arch is able to find himself the third kill of the game. His team's and his own he has all of his team's kills, as you could infer there, which is not a fun time if you are Zeta. And this is actually a very winnable game all of a sudden for Iota, considering how fed this Xayah is getting.
Yep, but here comes Ivern, and he is going to possibly be summoning Daisy here if he needs it. Rakan does go in just for a random knockup, and then he immediately jumps back to Xayah. Ivern just doing a really good job, just kind of holding down the fort for his bot lane.
Yep, going ahead and soaking up all that experience so it doesn't go to waste. As now here comes the Draven. Gonna go ahead and start clearing that wave back towards the Xayah Rakan, wanting to try to get it under that tower. We'll see if they're successful in doing just that. Be a little difficult. Actually, Draven's wave clear is pretty good. Should have no trouble actually going ahead and getting some prio in this lane. Unfortunately, Dragon not really an option for them because of where Ivern is. But maybe they could find a Rift Herald with all the prio that they're able to build up in the top lane.
Yeah, I really do enjoy playing Ivern from time to time. He's probably one of my favorites to play in the jungle, but unfortunately, like whenever it comes to Dragon, you really have to have like your mid laner and your bot lane there to help. I mean, sure, Daisy can tank and you can solo it, but it's such a slow take.
Yeah, absolutely. As Ivern might want to look for something mid. Poppy is roaming up towards the mid lane, but they know that the Vladimir does have that pool to get away, does have Ghost as well, trying to mitigate all the damage that can be done to him. As now Kanji in a very bad spot, trying to find the outplay here, trying to get all of that healing back towards himself. Is allowed to keep playing, is saving his own blood pool for that shockwave. Shima could be in a bad spot, but here comes Kibbles. Now they're going in. The Shen wants to try to find the play as well. Flash comes out from Shima. Kibbles all of a sudden in a bad spot, but here comes the Nocturne ultimate on to the mid laner of Shima. They're going to be able to find Shima, but the Poppy ult comes out and knocks the enemy Shen away. There he goes. And also the Rakan allows himself to get the kill onto Kongi. And of course the Nocturne goes down on the other side of that. So Zeta still come out on top in the trade. 2-1 for the Dogs.
Yep, Ivern, it does sacrifice Daisy to the tower just to do a nice little bit of tanking so Kibbles can get some free damage onto Harmonica God. Not really a big interaction there, but luckily, because since Daisy did die, the cooldown is going to be a little bit longer, so Iota will recognize this and will have a nice window of opportunity to capitalize on this.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see what they can do. Maybe about the Xayah. Xayah going to go ahead and back up, as Xayah does need to start getting punished a little bit here, but it's so hard to punish this champion, right, because of her ult. The fact that she has Gale Force as well, not going to be making it easy. Harmonica trying to exist in the mid lane, not going to be doing a great job of that one. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Vladimir trying to, just survive against Fireflans as well. Going to be doing a bit of a better job of that one. I think that's a pretty fine matchup for the Vladimir, and that's why they went ahead and swapped on over. However, Harmonica should just get absolutely dumpstered by the Orianna.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
Nice.
Rakan does stop the Draven from backing. So, of course, Joker's just going to casually walk over into a bush, attempt to back again, but unfortunately, Rakan is walking forward. This is illegal.
Yeah, I think it's... Oh, well, now it's not legal for Joker, if that's what you were saying. I 100%
Yes.
agree with that one, yep. As meanwhile, Shima trying to find the play. I believe he used Shockwave to find the kill onto the Shen. It just didn't quite either hit or wasn't quite enough damage. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Kibbles is back, but this is a big wave that's crashing, and Draven's going to miss pretty much all of it, if I'm not mistaken. Ivern coming in to help, stop the Xayah from getting any more plates after this one, if absolutely necessary. But they realized that, I think they saw Ivern on the ward. I don't know exactly which lane or which, lane of the jungle he approached from. I want to say he came from up above, so he wouldn't have gotten spotted anyway. Kagi in a bad situation, but here comes the Nocturne ultimate right onto Shima. Shima gonna be feared up, has that shield though to keep him alive for just a little bit longer, but the Hemo Plague is enough to find the kill. Drops tower aggro with that pool, as well as Calf Egg just cannot fight through this one. Daisy doing its best to try to find a kill, but that's just not going to be enough. Draven trying to find the play onto Arch. Arch may be 3-0, but Draven should be able to find the kill, or maybe not. The ult should be enough to save the Xayah for now, but here comes Kibbles trying to find the kill. The Ignite is ticking down. Joker is not going to be the one that finds the kill. Kibbles finds the kill with that Ignite, of course. Here comes O'Hare on the Nocturne trying to find the kill on the Fireflies. Fireflies may be able to try to 2v1 this one out. He cannot do it, though. That's going to be a shutdown going over to the Nocturne.
Yeah, Firefly's very unlucky in that interaction. Almost.
What is that? Why does Draven have a Kraken Slayer?
Why not?
What?
So for those of you who don't know, chat, Shogun is officially broken. We are now officially hiring.
You deserve this! You deserve this, Draven! You die with that Kraken Slayer on you! Shen's gonna take that kill after ulting in onto the Rakan to find it, as the Kraken Slayer along with Draven are sent back to the base.
Ladies and gentlemen, we here at Victoris GG are now hiring for a new play-by-play caster because apparently Shogun has died.
Oh, and now he's building a Bloodthirster, I suppose. Like, I don't know what that could possibly... Like, maybe that's Bork? That'd be wild. That'd be crazy.
Hey, maybe this is the secret Joker tech that you just don't know about.
Yeah, it's just so ancient and terrible. There's no way that's real. Like, that's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. That is pretty terrible.
I don't know, I've seen some other interesting builds. I don't think that's the worst thing I've ever seen.
I don't know, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. That's definitely worse than... People were, like, flaming my Caitlyn, like, when I was playing in Draft for building Kraken Slayer. At least that one's, like...
That would make sense.
Second or third best option. This is, like... This is grief. It doesn't matter because they're just going to get this dragon for free. And apparently Iota's going to do nothing to stop it. Or trade for anything. Which they were doing a really good job of trading for objectives in game number 1. But kind of fell off of that game number 2. Because of how badly game number 2 went. Game number 3. Finding a lot of kills.
Oh, here comes the siege. Not only is there Shelly, but there's also Daisy.
Man. Shelly and Daisy take the first tower. They're going to try to go for a next one. Kongi going in, trying to find something, and he gets shockwaved back in and gets taken down. Where are you going, of course, when you don't have the pool to deal with the shockwave? And, oh my god, they're just going to pile drive right onto Zohair. He's going to live. The ult from Kibbles will miss, as now thereby also wants to try to get in, just not allowed to do so at all, as now the mid lane tower should go down here. Here comes Arch, but that's going to be an immediate route onto thereby also. Now, Ashe going in on to Kibbles with Zohair. Zohair is very low, but will not go down, unlike the Poppy. Kibbles is taken down.
I'd have to say that was a very interesting skirmish in the mid lane. Dorado Gaming Zeta looked like they had a really nice setup to really just siege the first 2 towers, which they were successfully able to do. So one thing that a lot of people don't recognize about DOGZ is that the towers do not scale on her. She will take the same amount of damage on each shot, even if Ivern throws a shield on her.
For sure, as we will see. As now Draven is going to have some assistance after this TP comes through. Shen is going to ghost on out of here for now, though Firefly is trying to run after, but an axe missing means that he should be able to very easily get away. So, also, I want to apologize, because I think Kraken Slayer is legit from some people. I don't think it should be. I don't think it should ever be legit. I'm looking at pro builds now because I'm so flabbergasted by this. And if someone in chat wants to like try to explain why anybody would want to go this instead of Shield Bow, Eclipse, or even Duskblade. You could Gale Force, I'm hearing, is pretty good. Shima's gonna die here under tower very easily. Kongi gonna just go ahead and pull on out there like it's nothing. So anyway, yeah, back to the Kraken Slayer thing. What's up? Never mind. We have another play yet again on the bot side of the map, as Harmonica God going to be in a bad situation. Can't dash away from that one, as Fireflames will easily be able to pick up that kill for himself with the Poppy.
Yep, so definitely taking a quick look, as I did a bit of research. Oh, unfortunately, it appears Ivern is going to die here. DOGZ unable to really help Ivern there. Just kind of standing around like the rock that she is, and oh no, this is not good for Joker.
Yeah, Joker probably going to go down here trying to fight back under the tower, but Kongi is coming in as well, and he gets taken down before the W can be used, but now Joker in a bad spot, just one spell can hit. Zaya looking for the play, the Gale Force is there, but now doesn't have anything to get away besides the ultimate. There it is, does have the E available, is going to miss though. Shen is going to ult Arch as well for just a little bit more survivability. Meanwhile, on the bot side, there's going to be so many towers that are going to be taken. They're trying to back away, trying to make sure that the damage is as negligible as possible, at least trying to protect this tower. We will see if they're able to take this one down, though. They're on it so far. They're not moving quite yet, and those few seconds might just cost them the tower at the end of the day. It will. Tower will go down. Arch trying to chase after with it, thereby also don't think it's going to be enough. If they push out just a little bit too far, it could get a little bit dicey, and they elect to just go for the wave at the end of the day.
Shimubu doing a really good job catching Zohair out in the bush. Zohair is going to have to back up because unfortunately Zohair does not have the tier 1 tower on his side.
As anyway, you were explaining Kraken Slayer Draven?
Yes, apparently I found a build from a Grandmaster Draven player. Saying that, explaining the build, Kraken Slayer, this is the highest possible DPS build you can build for Draven. And that is his reason.
Yeah! Yeah! I'd imagine it would be as high as DPS. Okay. Now,
Kraken Slayer's stats are good enough by themselves, but in most builds you lack attack speed.
Now, I need you to look at the enemy team and tell me how Shield Bow is not the play. Even, like, seeing how Kraken Slayer, like, okay. Any lifesteal is really cool because, like, you'd like to survive a Nocturne jumping on you, a Shen jumping on you, a Vladimir diving you as well. I guess the idea... Oh, speaking of Nocturne, here he comes. We'll see if this Kraken Slayer keeps him alive or not. Up, he's dead by Draven. As now, will the rest of his team be able to make up for it, though, is the real question. Fireflames is just wreaking havoc on this backline. Zaya trying to survive as much as she possibly can, but Fireflames is just absolutely going off. Arch is trying to run away, but the axes are finding their mark as Arch is going to go down. A triple kill for the Olaf, but now Harmonica God is able to find the kill. It's a Cafe who was very low. Harmonica God still trying to find the kill. Kibbles, the support, trying to find the outplay onto the enemy mid laner, is running away now. Harmonica God doesn't really have anywhere to run besides under tower. He has to try to maybe find the kill onto the tower if he wants to be able to live through this one, maybe even find the tower. It's just not going to happen. Shima is able to find the kill. Kongi not willing to step up here, is pretty sure that he's going to die. Could try to find an outplay, but with no Hemo Plague, it's just not going to be an option, as the second dragon for dogs will be collected, the third of the game.
See, maybe that is the strategy of the Kraken Slayer. Is you let everyone bait into you because you have Kraken Slayer. You lose, but you have Fireflans, who's like the MVP of this team. Just come in and go, all right, it's Fireflans time.
Or you could survive the dive, and then after you survive and they already wasted everything on you, you can pump out damage after surviving and it's still okay. As here comes the Shen ulted Nocturne. Guess who's dead? It's Draven. No survivability at all to be found, and he goes down.
According to the stats, Draven is currently at 7% lifesteal because he does have a Vampiric Scepter.
Woo!
So, see, he has lifesteal. I don't see what you're complaining about.
I'm not saying that he needs lifesteal. I'm saying he needs the most broken shield in the game that an ADC can build on an item. Called Shield Bow.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a pretty, It does make sense. Usually the silver players just see other items and they go, ooh, survivability? I can't do that anyway. It's fine. I'll just build whatever.
I'll just buy it a collector.
Damage. At least he's not building collector.
Exactly.
He does have a last whisper, which makes.
I mean, he is building Lord Doms.
The last whisper and the Kraken Slayer are good into the tanks. It's just he can't ever be alone, and in team fights, if he just gets focused down, there's nothing he himself can do about it. Oh, they're going back in, and guess what does nothing? The Rakan still tries to go through. Rakan trying to find the kill, but guess who has so many shields? There it is. As long as Ivern's there and is allowed to shield him up, I guess things are better, and things are okay, as we see right there. So, I actually like the idea of having the Ivern and going, well, I should get a ton of shields from Ivern already, so there's no way I should die as. Hold on just a second, because Zohair is just going to get wiped off the map. Here comes the Shen trying to find something to help his mid laner. Kongi is going back in, though, trying to find the angle, but there's just not enough lifesteal on that Vladimir. Kibbles is running away for the hills, should be able to get out easily. Arch trying to survive as well. If he goes down, that could be absolutely dire. The dogs are going to look for the Baron. There was even a world where I think they could have just ended the game there. Maybe the wave wasn't quite big enough. So they're just going to go ahead and get that Baron and try to end the game on the next push.
Yeah, unfortunately, the wave wasn't quite big enough, and unfortunately, the second wave was still back at the second tower.
As we are going to see everybody go ahead and go back to base. I do want to mention that apparently now in the most common built item. Okay, that's not true. How dare you? The most common built item is still okay. Blitz.gg is lying. Don't listen to it. It's a big liar. Big liar.
Oh, you use Blitz.gg? Well,
what do you use?
I use MOBA Fire.
Oh! 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 God! Oh! God! I thought you were gonna say something like OP.gg at least, or like maybe U.gg or Mobalytics, not MOBA.
No. I don't use.
What? Oh my god! I was like ready to be like, all right, yeah, Blitz.gg isn't like the end all be all, but I was like hoping you wouldn't say MOBA Fire. Oh goodness gracious!
You know,
okay.
MOBA Fire, the League of Legends champion guides. Definitely not riddled with ads.
It's not even about the ads. Just, they're not. I only want to see stats. I don't care about the guide. I don't care about what the one trick can do. Show me what the average plat player can do. That's what I want to see. as now Kagi could be in some trouble, as now the Nocturnal is going to allow them to go back in, as now will they be able to find a good team fight for themselves? This is make or break. If Iota lose this fight, they lose the game, they lose the series. Kibbles wants to go back in, try to find the kill. Now the knockups are coming in from thereby also. They have to run for the hills, they have to survive, but one will fall. Zohair is the first one to go. Harmonica God could be up next. Dodging away from the axes is very important to his longevity. A great stun into the wall, but Kibbles could be going down as a result. A massive shockwave from Shima to end the series, finding 3 members of the enemy team, and they should be able to start knocking down these Nexus towers. Kongi is full HP, just sitting there trying to find the plays. He is going to be knocked into the wall. He's going to be taken down. The Nexus towers are going to be wiped off the rift, as that will be a clean 3-0 for the side of Dorado Gaming Zeta.
Definitely want to say this was a very one-sided series for Dorado Gaming Zeta. I mean, sure, Game 1 seemed pretty close, could have gone either way, but unfortunately Zeta is just the better dog in this matchup.
Yep, that is the case. Unfortunately, though, you did vote for Gamma. And
I did not vote for
Yikes.
Gamma.
You did,
So-
though. You
I
did.
never voted for Gamma.
I'm lucky.
Feels bad, bro. Kong Man. I thought we were past this. I thought we were past the split one, poor prediction decisions.
I
Feels
never-
bad. Officially back in last place in the prediction
What?
race.
I am
That's
not
wild.
in last place. What is this?
You are. You're now 2 games behind me. I was 1 game behind the both of you coming into this series. So Shogun and I called this one correctly, so I'm still 1 game behind him. You missed all 3 games of this series, so you're now 2
I did not
games
miss 3
behind me
games
in
of the
prediction.
season.
But that's the thing, Kong Man. You predicted
Nope.
Dorado
Yeah.
Gaming
I-
would win tonight, 3-0, and Dorado Gaming lost tonight, 0-3. Feels bad.
No, I still got the score correct. 3. If you want to be that technical about it, I still got the 3-0 prediction right. So technically, we're tied down.
I mean,
if you want to
technically,
get really technical,
because Dorado Gaming went 0-3.
they
It's
did not
true.
go.
That Dorado Gaming absolutely went 0-3 on
They
the
definitely
split
did.
tonight.
They definitely did.
You know, this is a
That is
weird way. You
true.
guys are trying to force me into last place.
I don't know about force. I think
You kind
I
of
think
did
it's
it to
pretty- I think it's
yourself.
pretty legit.
I never
We
said Gamma.
We can litigate
man.
the prediction
whoa.
standings all we want in a moment, as the only standings that matter right now are the fact that Dorado Gaming Zeta move up into the semifinals, as we all pretty much expected coming into this series, and they did it in style. But I need to ask you folks at home to select for us your MVP of the series. I will put that poll out momentarily. Never mind. Our producer has it. Just making sure. So go ahead, and as that poll comes out, let us know who was your MVP for Dorado Gaming in this victory over Dorado Gaming here tonight in the quarterfinals. I personally, I don't know about you guys, I'm feeling Fireflans as the series
excited.
MVP. Shogun, do you want to sort of give us your thoughts on this?
I think that's a given. I think Fireflans is like the easy MVP here, and I don't think it's close. If you were to say someone else, maybe you could make an argument for Cafe. There's a world you could say Joker, but I don't think Joker performed as well in maybe say Game 3. But Fireflans performed well in just about every single game.
I mean, it was top gaps left and right.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
True.
I think even more so, you gotta look at game number 1, not when Fireflans was finding the solo kills or the kills with his jungler, but the fact that Wukong was playing heavy topside. Like, go back and watch the VOD. Wukong was trying to make plays around topside for so much of the early game and was never allowed to do that because Fireflans did not allow it, and I think that's enough of a reason, even though his stat line might not have been as good, it was still really good in game number 1, don't get me wrong. But that's a reason that Fireflans is easily my MVP, is because he was just dominant in game number 1, dominant in game number 2, dominant in game number 3, in different ways in each and every one.
Yeah, 3 completely different matchups made them all look good up there in the top lane. Kong Man, who was your MVP here of this quarterfinal series?
Now, there is going to be a bit of a jungle bias on my end, so I would have to throw my vote over to Cafe. But one definite, deciding factor for me is if you look at the game one, he went 6-0-12. Game two, he went 7-0-6. And then it wasn't until game three that Iota finally figured out how to kill him, but only twice, as he went 3-2-16. I'm sure it's probably going to go to Fireflans, or Kibbles might even be a good runner-up. But I am having my personal bias over towards Cafe.
Yeah, makes sense. I think you can't go wrong with either of those topside members there for the side of Zeta. But the results are in. The people have spoken, and it will be Fireflans, your MVP. We'll get you a nice, juicy MVP screen in just a moment. Fireflans, we're cooking that one up in the kitchen right now. Production hard at work making that as spicy as possible. But yeah, this series it was pretty nice. Not too much to say. It was a little bit one-sided, as you already pointed out, Kongman. Game 1 looked a little bit more even. Game 2, complete stomp for Zeta. And Game 3, I feel like it looked closer, but only because Zeta opted into the Fiesta, right? Like, they just said, we'll just play whatever, and we'll go hog wild, and they still delivered the beatdown in pretty quick succession there. So, definitely a one-sided series coming in, but it does, who doesn't love a champion continuing to dominate, right? 2016 SKT, was anybody sick of them winning Worlds?
I was.
No.
I was sick of SKT winning Worlds.
This
Irrelevant.
is revisionist history. Nobody was ever sick of Korea winning everything, and SKT in particular always being the best team in the world, for sure. So, Zeta, congratulations, you're the SKT of Victoris right now. Nobody's preying on your downfall, as we do get the MVP screen coming on through, and what a
Should be
pretty
Cafe.
MVP screen it is.
L take from Kongman, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
I think Cafe did well, but did Cafe go 22, 2-19 over the series? No.
I mean, okay, to be fair, did Fireflans play against a good top laner? No.
Jesus.
The gauntlet's been thrown.
Jesus.
He has a family, Kongman. Come on.
Again, part of that was towards Fireflans did not let up in how he played top lane, and or rather, I think a better way to put it is he knew exactly when to step off the gas and not put himself into a position to get ganked, which I will admit the enemy top laner did over and over and over again. But I mean, Cafe was a good part of getting those kills in certain spots, but I mean, Fireflans easily could have found those kills himself because he did. In a lot of those situations, especially when it was Camille into Gangplank, he was easily able to do that. When it was Mundo into, I forgot who he was. Oh, Fiora. Which is, by the way, a bad matchup for Mundo. Yeah, and he stomps it, albeit with, I think he had help on the first play, or, no. I think that might have been, no, that wasn't the Fiesta. That was game 3, where Shen overchases for the Olaf.
Yeah, that was
and
game
everything is just very sad after that.
See, I still stand on my point about not fighting a good top laner. Because remember, he only died twice, and his opposing top laner, the whole series, only got 3 kills.
But it's not about the top lane matchup is why Fireflans did good. It's how Fireflans was playing into the enemy team as well. Yes, he dumped. He dumpstered. Hold on. I'm not done. Because
remember, it's like I say all season. Better top lane wins. What can I say?
Yeah. So yeah, Fireflans dumpsters, and he is able to use that advantage that he got, and he helped his team win the game. In game 3, a worse top laner and a non-MVP caliber top laner does not win his team the game with the lead that he accrues. He should. Every day of the week, you should be able to take that lead and give your team the win. But against the Fed Xayah, it's extremely hard because of all the defensive options that you have, and playing someone like Olaf, who all he can do is really run in, and if you get DPS down, you will just die. Being able to play around cooldowns and play the fights the way that he did, and only dying one time on top of that while accruing 12 games in game number 3 is just absolutely insane.
playing a walk at you and hit you and pray champion against Zaya with Rakan and Shen to peel for her, that's
Yes.
pretty pog. That's pretty pog coming through from Fireflands. It was a pretty pog series coming through from Zeta. In the end, I think the most succinct way to put is they outclassed in all 5 roles, but their top side in particular, their top jungle duo, definitely did outshine the brightest. So Fireflands and Cafe, big ups to the both of you. Big ups to the entirety of Zeta in this cross-organizational match. They were the victors. They are the top dogs here today. And with that, we will catch you guys next week here for the semifinals. We will see if Zeta can keep their incredible winning ways this year up and going. But until then, we'll see you next time. Have a good night.